paglaom na igwapaning liwanag sa maabot na aldaw. Mati niya mo nalangkag ka na. Dakul ng panahon asin oportunidad ang luminehi sa imo. Pero yaon ka mo pig-aatubang ang inababarang nakalaban. Pigtatay ang buhay sa katibaaran para sa na kami maproteheran. Sa indong mga frontliners, ang samong halangkaw na pagsalulo. Aram niya mo na ding masasayang sa kapagalan nindo. Nahihiling kan mahal na Diyos ang lambang sakit asin paghingawa mo para sa gabos. Mati niya ang pagtios sa pagsiserbe, maging ang mga pagtangis mo, na ikanya pigpapabayaan. Sa maabot na pet sa 22 ngunya na Disyembre, dalanon asin hinanyugon ang programang pigdadara sa to kan Partido State University sa pagkikipagtabangan kan Department of Education asin kan lokal na gobyerno kan gawa. PagHubay. Sarong proyektong mataunin kabasugan sa satong kaisipan sa panahon kan namamating krisis pangsalod alay sa mga frontliners.
Hello beautiful people of Goa, hello Bicol, hello world, to our LGU officials, our frontliners, PSU and Goa DepEd students, faculty and staff, Merry Christmas to all of you. Let us make it really joyful as we gather together on December 22. With all the challenges of 2020, it's time to give ourselves a chance to recount and experience more blessings as we turn our frustration to inspiration and our pain to gain through our mental health dialogue. Hashtag be intentional. Please intend to be there. And hashtag PagHubay. Let's have some relief from our daily concerns. Thank you and see you soon.
Kaibanan man ang pabusong singer-artist kan Pilipinas, Mr. Jed Madela. PagHubay. Kayat na ini, magkapot ka sana. Sa tao kan mga pagsakit asin kaditan darakan pandemya, yaon kita nakikipaglaban para dagos ng mawara ang COVID-19 sa kinaban. Kadakol na ang sakripisyo. Nawaranin mga mahal sa buhay, maging ang hanap buhay, alagad uya kita. Dagos ang paglaom na igwapaning liwanag sa maabot na aldaw. Mati niya mo nalangkag ka na. Dakul ng panahon asin oportunidad ang luminehi sa imo. Pero yaon ka mo pig-aatubang ang inababarang nakalaban. Pigtatay ang buhay sa katibaaran para sa na kami maproteheran. Sa indong mga frontliners, ang samong halangkaw na pagsalulo. Aram niya mo na ding masasayang sa kapagalan nindo. Nahihiling kan mahal na Diyos ang lambang sakit asin paghingawa mo para sa gabos. Mati niya ang pagtios sa pagsiserbe, maging ang mga pagtangis mo, na ikanya pigpapabayaan. Sa maabot na pet sa 22 ngunya na Disyembre, dalanon asin hinanyugon ang programang pigdadara sa to kan Partido State University sa pagkikipagtabangan kan Department of Education asin kan lokal na gobyerno kan gawa. PagHubay. Sarong proyektong mataunin kabasugan sa satong kaisipan sa panahon kan namamating krisis pangsalod alay sa mga frontliners.
Hello beautiful people of Goa, hello Bicol, hello world, to our LGU officials, our frontliners, PSU and Goa DepEd students, faculty and staff, Merry Christmas to all of you. Let us make it really joyful as we gather together on December 22. With all the challenges of 2020, it's time to give ourselves a chance to recount and experience more blessings as we turn our frustration to inspiration and our pain to gain through our mental health dialogue. Hashtag be intentional. Please intend to be there. And hashtag PagHubay. Let's have some relief from our daily concerns. Thank you and see you soon.
Kaibanan man ang pamosong singer-artist kan Pilipinas, Mr. Jed Madela. PagHubay, kayat na ini, magkapot ka sana. Sa tao kan mga pagsakit asin kad-itan darakan pandemya, yaon kita nakikipaglaban para dagos ng mawara ang COVID-19 sa kinaban. Kadakol na ang nasakripisyo. Nawaranin mga mahal sa buhay, maging ang hanap buhay, alagad uya kita. Dagos ang paglaom na igwapaning liwanag sa maabot na aldaw. Mati niya mo nalangkag ka na. Dakol ng panahon asin oportunidad ang luminihi sa imo. Pero yaon kamo pig-aatubang ang inababarang nakalaban. Pigtatay ang buhay sa katibaaran para sa na kami maproteheran. Sa indong mga frontliners, ang samong halangkaw na pagsalulo. Aram niya mo na masasayang sa kapagalan nindo. Nahihiling kan mahal na Diyos ang lambang sakit asin pag-ingawa mo para sa gabos. Mati niya ang pagtio sa pagsiserbe, maging ang mga pagtangis mo, na ikanya pigpapabayaan. Sa maabot na pet sa 22 ngunya na Disyembre, dalanon asin hinanyugon ang programang pigdadara sa to kan Partido State University sa pakikipagtabangan kan Department of Education asin kan lokal na gobyerno kan gawa. PagHubay, sarong proyektong matauning kabasugan sa satong kaisipan sa panahon ka namamating krisis pangsalod alay sa mga frontliners.
Hello, beautiful people of Goa. Hello, Bicol. Hello, world. To our LGU officials, our frontliners, PSU and Goa DepEd students, faculty, and staff, Merry Christmas to all of you. Let us make it really joyful as we gather together on December 22. With all the challenges of 2020, it's time to give ourselves a chance to recount and experience more blessings as we turn our frustration to inspiration and our pain to gain through our mental health dialogue. Hashtag be intentional. Please intend to be there. And hashtag PagHubay. Let's have some relief from our daily concerns. Thank you and see you soon.
Kaibanan man ang pamosong singer-artist kan Pilipinas, Mr. Jed Madela. PagHubay, kayat na ini, magkapot ka sana. Sa tao kan mga pagsakit asin kad-itan darakan pandemya, yaon kita nakikipaglaban para dagos ng mawara ang COVID-19 sa kinaban. Kadakol na ang nasakripisyo. Nawaranin mga mahal sa buhay, maging ang hanap buhay, alagad uya kita. Dagos ang pagligwapaning liwanag sa maabot na aldaw. Mati niya mo nalangkag ka na. Dakol ng panahon asin oportunidad ang luminihi sa imo. Pero yaon kamo pig-aatubang ang inababarang nakalaban. Pigtatay ang buhay sa katibaaran para sa na kami maproteheran. Sa indong mga frontliners, ang samong halangkaw na pagsalulo. Aram niya mo na masasayang sa kapagalan nindo. Nahihiling kan mahal na Diyos ang lambang sakit asin pag-ingawa mo para sa gabos. Mati niya ang pagtio sa pagsiserbe, maging ang mga pagtangis mo, na ikanya pigpapabayaan. Sa maabot na pet sa 22 ngunya na Disyembre, dalanon asin hinanyugon ang programang pigdadara sa to kan Partido State University sa pakikipagtabangan kan Department of Education asin kan lokal na gobyerno kan gawa. PagHubay, sarong proyektong matauning kabasugan sa satong kaisipan sa panahon ka namamating krisis pangsalod alay sa mga frontliners.
Hello, beautiful people of Goa. Hello, Bicol. Hello, world. To our LGU officials, our frontliners, PSU and GOA DepEd students, faculty, and staff, Merry Christmas to all of you. Let us make it really joyful as we gather together on December 22. With all the challenges of 2020, it's time to give ourselves a chance to recount and experience more blessings as we turn our frustration to inspiration and our pain to gain through our mental health dialogue. Hashtag be intentional. Please intend to be there. And hashtag PagHubay. Let's have some relief from our daily concerns. Thank you and see you soon.
Kaibanan man ang pamosong singer-artist kan Pilipinas, Mr. Jed Madela. Paghubay, kayat na ini, magkapot ka sana. Sa tao kan mga pagsakit asin kad-itan darakan pandemya, yaon kita nakikipaglaban para dagos ng mawara ang COVID-19 sa kinaban. Kadakol na ang sakripisyo. Nawaranin mga mahal sa buhay, maging ang hanap buhay, alagad uya kita. Dagos ang paglaom na igwapaning liwanag sa maabot na aldaw. Mati niya mo nalangkag ka na. Dakol ng panahon asin oportunidad ang luminehi sa imo. Pero yaon kamo pig-aatubang ang inababarang nakalaban. Pigtatay ang buhay sa katibaaran para sa na kami maproteheran. Sa indong mga frontliners, ang samong halangkaw na pagsalulo. Aram niya mo na ding masasayang sa kapagalan nindo. Nahihiling kan mahal na Diyos ang lambang sakit asin paghingawa mo para sa gabos. Mati niya ang pagtios sa pagsiserbe, maging ang mga pagtangis mo, na ikanya pigpapabayaan. Sa maabot na pet sa 22 ngunya na Disyembre, dalanon asin hinanyugon ang programang pigdadara sa to kan Partido State University sa pagkikipagtabangan kan Department of Education asin kan lokal na gobyerno kan GOA. Paghubay, sarong proyektong matauning kabasugan sa satong kaisipan sa panahon ka namamating krisis pangsalod alay sa mga frontliners.
Hello, beautiful people of GOA. Hello, Bicol. Hello, world. To our LGU officials, our frontliners, PSU and GOA DepEd students, faculty, and staff, Merry Christmas to all of you. Let us make it really joyful as we gather together on December 22. With all the challenges of 2020, it's time to give ourselves a chance to recount and experience more blessings as we turn our frustration to inspiration and our pain to gain through our mental health dialogue. Hashtag be intentional. Please intend to be there. And hashtag PagHubay. Let's have some relief from our daily concerns. Thank you and see you soon.
Kaibanan man ang pamosong singer-artist kan Pilipinas, Mr. Jed Madela. Paghubay, kayat na ini, magkapot ka sana. Sa tao kan mga pagsakit asin kad-itan darakan pandemya, yaon kita nakikipaglaban para dagos ng mawara ang COVID-19 sa kinaban. Kadakol na ang sakripisyo. Nawaranin mga mahal sa buhay, maging ang hanap buhay, alagad uya kita. Dagos ang paglaom na igwapaning liwanag sa maabot na aldaw. Mati niya mo nalangkag ka na. Dakol ng panahon asin oportunidad ang luminehi sa imo. Pero yaon kamo pig-aatubang ang inababarang nakalaban. Pigtatay ang buhay sa katibaaran para sa na kami maproteheran. Sa indong mga frontliners, ang samong halangkaw na pagsalulo. Aram niya mo na ding masasayang sa kapagalan nindo. Nahihiling kan mahal na Diyos ang lambang sakit asin paghinguwa mo para sa gabos. Mati niya ang pagtios sa pagsiserbe, maging ang mga pagtangis mo, na ikanya pigpapabayaan. Sa maabot na pet sa 22 ngunya na Disyembre, dalanon asin hinanyugon ang programang pigdadara sa to kan Partido State University sa pagkikipagtabangan kan Department of Education asin kan lokal na gobyerno kan gawa. PagHubay. Sarong proyektong mataunin kabasugan sa satong kaisipan sa panahon ka namamating krisis pangsalod alay sa mga frontliners.
Hello, beautiful people of Goa. Hello, Bicol. Hello, world. To our LGU officials, our frontliners, PSU and Goa DepEd students, faculty, and staff, Merry Christmas to all of you. Let us make it really joyful as we gather together on December 22. With all the challenges of 2020, it's time to give ourselves a chance to recount and experience more blessings as we turn our frustration to inspiration and our pain to gain through our mental health dialogue. Hashtag be intentional. Please intend to be there. And hashtag PagHubay. Let's have some relief from our daily concerns. Thank you and see you soon.
Kaibanan man ang pabusong singer-artist kan Pilipinas, Mr. Jed Madela. PagHubay. Kayat na ini, magkapot ka sana. Sa tao kan mga pagsakit asin kaditan darakan pandemya, yaon kita nakikipaglaban para dagos ng mawara ang COVID-19 sa kinaban. Kadakol na ang sakripisyo. Nawaranin mga mahal sa buhay, maging ang hanap buhay, alagad uya kita. Dagos ang paglaom na igwapaning liwanag sa maabot na aldaw. Mati niya mo nalangkag ka na. Dakol ng panahon asin oportunidad ang luminingi sa imo. Pero yaon ka mo pig-aatubang ang da inababarang nakalaban. Pigtatay ang buhay sa katibaaran para sa na kami maproteheran. Sa indong mga frontliners, ang samong halangkaw na pagsalulo. Aram niya mo na daing masasayang sa kapagalan nindo. Nahihiling kan mahal na Diyos ang lambang sakit asin paghinguwa mo para sa gabos. Mati niya ang pagtios sa pagsiserbe, maging ang mga pagtangis mo, na ikanya pigpapabayaan. Sa maabot na pet sa 22 ngunya na Disyembre, dalanon asin hinanyugon ang programang pigdadara sa to kan Partido State University sa pagkikipagtabangan kan Department of Education asin kan lokal na gobyerno kan gawa. PagHubay. Sarong proyektong mataunin kabasugan sa satong kaisipan sa panahon ka namamating krisis pangsalod alay sa mga frontliners.
Hello, beautiful people of Goa. Hello, Bicol. Hello, world. To our LGU officials, our frontliners, PSU and Goa DepEd students, faculty, and staff, Merry Christmas to all of you. Let us make it really joyful as we gather together on December 22. With all the challenges of 2020, it's time to give ourselves a chance to recount and experience more blessings as we turn our frustration to inspiration and our pain to gain through our mental health dialogue. Hashtag be intentional. Please intend to be there. And hashtag PagHubay. Let's have some relief from our daily concerns. Thank you and
Artist kan Pilipinas, Mr. Jed Madela. Magkapot ka sana. Sa tao kan mga pagsakit asin kaditan darakan pandemya, yaon kita nakikipaglaban para dagos ng mawara ang COVID-19 sa kinaban. Kadakol na sakripisyo. Nawaranin mga mahal sa buhay, maging ang hanap buhay, alagad uya kita. Dagos ang paglaom na igwapaning liwanag sa maabot na aldaw. Mati niya mo nalangkag ka na. Dakol ng panahon, kamupig aatubang ang inababarang nakalaban. Pigtatay ang buhay sa katibaaran para sa na kami maproteheran. Sa saindong mga frontliners, ang samong halangkaw na pagsalulo. Aram niya mo na daing masasayang sa kapagalan nindo. Nahihiling kan mahal na Diyos ang lambang sakit asin paghingawa mo para sa gabos. Mati niya ang pagtio sa pagsiserbe, maging ang mga pagtangis mo, na ikanya pigpapabayaan. Sa maabot na pet sa 22 ngunya na Disyembre, dalanon asin hinanyugon ang programang pigdadara sa to kan Partido State University sa pagkikipagtabangan kan Department of Education asin kan lokal na gobyerno kan gawa. PagHubay. Sarong proyektong mataunin kabasugan sa satong kaisipan sa panahon kan namamating krisis pangsalod alay sa mga frontliners.
Hello, beautiful people of Goa. Hello, Bicol. Hello, world. To our LGU officials, our frontliners, PSU and Goa DepEd students, faculty, and staff, Merry Christmas to all of you. Let us make it really joyful as we gather together on December 22. With all the challenges of 2020, it's time to give ourselves a chance to recount and experience more blessings as we turn our frustration to inspiration and our pain to gain through our mental health dialogue. Hashtag be intentional. Please intend to be there. And hashtag PagHubay. Let's have some relief from our daily concerns. Thank you and see you soon.
Kaibanan man ang pabusong singer-artist kan Pilipinas, Mr. Jed Madela. PagHubay. Kayat na ini, magkapot ka sana. Sa tao kan mga pagsakit asin kaditan darakan pandemya, yaon kita nakikipaglaban para dagos ng mawara ang COVID-19 sa kinaban. Kadakol na sakripisyo. Nawaranin mga mahal sa buhay, maging ang hanap buhay, alagad uya kita. Dagos ang paglaom na igwapaning liwanag sa maabot na aldaw. Mati niya mo nalangkag ka na. Dakol ng panahon asin oportunidad ang luminehi sa imo. Pero yaon kamupig aatubang ang inababarang nakalaban. Pigtatay ang buhay sa katibaaran para sa na kami maproteheran. Sa saindong mga frontliners, ang samong halangkaw na pagsalulo. Aram niya mo na daing masasayang sa kapagalan nindo. Nahihiling kan mahal na Diyos ang lambang sakit asin paghingawa mo para sa gabos. Mati niya ang pagtio sa pagsiserbe, maging ang mga pagtangis mo, na ikanya pigpapabayaan. Sa maabot na pet sa 22 ngunya na Disyembre, dalanon asin hinanyugon ang programang pigdadara sa to kan Partido State University sa pagkikipagtabangan kan Department of Education asin kan lokal na gobyerno kan gawa. PagHubay. Sarong proyektong mataunin kabasugan sa satong kaisipan sa panahon kan namamating krisis pangsalod alay sa mga frontliners.
Hello, beautiful people of Goa. Hello, Bicol. Hello, world. To our LGU officials, our frontliners, PSU and Goa DepEd students, faculty, and staff, Merry Christmas to all of you. Let us make it really joyful as we gather together on December 22. With all the challenges of 2020, it's time to give ourselves a chance to recount and experience more blessings as we turn our frustration to inspiration and our pain to gain through our mental health dialogue. Hashtag be intentional. Please intend to be there. And hashtag PagHubay. Let's have some relief from our daily concerns. Thank you and see you soon.
Kaibanan man ang pabusong singer artist kan Pilipinas, Mr. Jed Madela. Paghubay, kayat na ini, magkapot ka sana. Sa tao kan mga pagsakit asin kad-itan darakan pandemya, yaon kita nakikipaglaban para dagos ng mawara ang COVID-19 sa kinaban. Kadakol na ang nasakripisyo. Nawaranin mga mahal sa buhay, maging ang hanap buhay, alagad uya kita. Dagos ang paglaom na igwapaning liwanag sa maabot na aldaw.
Hello, sound check. Sound check. Panelists, please respond. Sound check. Yun na yan. Okay na.
Hello, good morning. You're clear, Sir Engineer Ronel. You're clear.
Thank you, Ma'am Miles. Ayan. Pag-attendees lang.
Hello, good morning. You're
Ayan,
clear,
si
Sir
Ma'am
Engineer Ronel. You're clear.
Connected na si Tisa. Ay, kumonsinda gabo siya, si papanelist. So, mga nag-share na. Ang panelists ka, they can interact with, they can post questions, they can chat. Okay lang. Testing ng dagos ng mga broadcast. Good morning, Doc Clarice.
Sa tahaw kan mga pagsakit asin kad-itan darakan pandemya, yaon kita nakikipaglaban para dagos ng mawara ang COVID-19 sa kinaban. Kadakol na ang sakripisyo. Nawaranin mga mahal sa buhay, maging ang hanap buhay, alagad uya kita. Dagos ang paglaom na igwapaning liwanag sa maabot na aldaw. Mati niya mo nalangkag ka na. Dakol ng panahon asin oportunidad ang luminehi sa imo. Pero yaon kamo pig-aatubang ang da inababarang nakalaban. Pigtatay ang buhay sa katibaaran para sa na kami maproteheran. Sa indong mga frontliners, ang samong halangkaw na pagsalulo. Aram niya mo na daing masasayang sa kapagalan nindo. Nahihiling kan mahal na Diyos ang lambang sakit asin paghingawa mo para sa gabos. Mati niya ang pagtio sa pagsiserbe, maging ang mga pagtangis mo, na ikanya pigpapabayaan. Sa maabot na pet sa 22 ngunya na Disyembre, dalanon asin hinanyugon ang programang pigdadara sa to kan Partido State University sa pagkikipagtabangan kan Department of Education asin kan lokal na gobyerno kan gawa. PagHubay. Sarong proyektong matauning kabasugan sa satong kaisipan sa panahon ka namamating krisis pangsalod alay sa mga frontliners.
Hello, beautiful people of Goa. Hello, Bicol. Hello, world. To our LGU officials, our frontliners, PSU and Goa DepEd students, faculty, and staff, Merry Christmas to all of you. Let us make it really joyful as we gather together on December 22. With all the challenges of 2020, it's time to give ourselves a chance to recount and experience more blessings as we turn our frustration to inspiration and our pain to gain through our mental health dialogue. Hashtag be intentional. Please intend to be there. And hashtag PagHubay. Let's have some relief from our daily concerns. Thank you and see you soon.
Kaibanan man ang pamosong singer-artist kan Pilipinas, Mr. Jed Madela. PagHubay. Kayat na ini, magkapot ka sana. Sa tahaw kan mga pagsakit asin kad-itan darakan pandemya, yaon kita nakikipaglaban para dagos ng mawara ang COVID-19 sa kinaban. Kadakol na ang sakripisyo. Nawaranin mga mahal sa buhay, maging ang hanap buhay, alagad uya kita. Dagos ang paglaom na igwapaning liwanag sa maabot na aldaw. Mati niya mo nalangkag ka na. Dakol ng panahon asin oportunidad ang luminehi sa imo. Pero yaon kamo pig-aatubang ang da inababarang nakalaban. Pigtatay ang buhay sa katibaaran para sa na kami maproteheran. Sa indong mga frontliners, ang samong halangkaw na pagsalulo. Aram niya mo na daing masasayang sa kapagalan nindo. Nahihiling kan mahal na Diyos ang lambang sakit asin paghingawa mo para sa gabos. Mati niya ang pagtio sa pagsiserbe, maging ang mga pagtangis mo, na ikanya pigpapabayaan. Sa maabot na pet sa 22 ngunya na Disyembre, dalanon asin hinanyugon ang programang pigdadara sa to kan Partido State University sa pagkikipagtabangan kan Department of Education asin kan lokal na gobyerno kan gawa. PagHubay. Sarong proyektong matauning kabasugan sa satong kaisipan sa panahon ka namamating krisis pangsalod alay sa mga frontliners.
Hello, beautiful people of Goa. Hello, Bicol. Hello, world. To our LGU officials, our frontliners, PSU and Goa DepEd students, faculty, and staff, Merry Christmas to all of you. Let us make it really joyful as we gather together on December 22. With all the challenges of 2020, it's time to give ourselves a chance to recount and experience more blessings as we turn our frustration to inspiration and our pain to gain through our mental health dialogue. Hashtag be intentional. Please intend to be there. And hashtag PagHubay. Let's have some relief from our daily concerns. Thank you and see you soon.
Kaibanan man ang pamosong singer-artist kan Pilipinas, Mr. Jed Madela. Paghubay, kayat na ini, magkapot ka sana. Sa tao kan mga pagsakit asin kad-itan darakan pandemya, yaon kita nakikipaglaban para dagos ng mawara ang COVID-19 sa kinaban. Kadakol na ang sakripisyo. Nawaranin mga mahal sa buhay, maging ang hanap buhay, alagad uya kita. Dagos ang paglaom na igwapaning liwanag sa maabot na aldaw. Mati niya mo na lang kag ka na. Dakol ng panahon asin oportunidad ang luminihi sa imo. Pero yaon kamo pig-aatubang ang inababarang nakalaban. Pigtatay ang buhay sa katibaaran para sa na kami maproteheran. Sa indong mga frontliners, ang samong halangkaw na pagsalulo. Aram niya mo na ding masasayang sa kapagalan nindo. Nahihiling kan mahal na Diyos ang lambang sakit asin paghingawa mo para sa gabos. Mati niya ang pagtios sa pagsiserbe, maging ang mga pagtangis mo, na ikanya pigpapabayaan. Sa maabot na pet sa 22 ngunya na Disyembre, dalanon asin hinanyugon ang programang pigdadara sa to kan Partido State University sa pagkikipagtabangan kan Department of Education asin kan lokal na gobyerno kan gawa. Paghubay, sarong proyektong mataunin kabasugan sa satong kaisipan sa panahon ka namamating krisis pangsalod alay sa mga frontliners.
Hello, beautiful people of Goa. Hello, Bicol. Hello, world. To our LGU officials, our frontliners, PSU and Goa DepEd students, faculty and staff, Merry Christmas to all of you. Let us make it really joyful as we gather together on December 22. With all the challenges of 2020, it's time to give ourselves a chance to recount and experience more blessings as we turn our frustration to inspiration and our pain to gain through our mental health dialogue. Hashtag be intentional. Please intend to be there. And hashtag PagHubay. Let's have some relief from our daily concerns. Thank you and see you soon.
Kaibanan man ang pamosong singer-artist kan Pilipinas, Mr. Jed Madela. Paghubay, kayat na ini, magkapot ka sana. Sa tao kan mga pagsakit asin kad-itan darakan pandemya, yaon kita nakikipaglaban para dagos ng mawara ang COVID-19 sa kinaban. Kadakol na ang sakripisyo. Nawaranin mga mahal sa buhay, maging ang hanap buhay, alagad uya kita. Dagos ang paglaom na igwapaning liwanag sa maabot na aldaw. Mati niya mo na lang kag ka na. Dakol ng panahon asin oportunidad ang luminihi sa imo. Pero yaon kamo pig-aatubang ang inababarang nakalaban. Pigtatay ang buhay sa katibaaran para sa na kami maproteheran. Sa indong mga frontliners, ang samong halangkaw na pagsalulo. Aram niya mo na ding masasayang sa kapagalan nindo. Nahihiling kan mahal na Diyos ang lambang sakit asin paghingawa mo para sa gabos. Mati niya ang pagtios sa pagsiserbe, maging ang mga pagtangis mo, na ikanya pigpapabayaan. Sa maabot na pet sa 22 ngunya na Disyembre, dalanon asin hinanyugon ang programang pigdadara sa to kan Partido State University sa pagkikipagtabangan kan Department of Education asin kan lokal na gobyerno kan gawa. PagHubay. Sarong proyektong matauning kabasugan sa satong kaisipan sa panahon ka namamating krisis pangsalod alay sa mga frontliners.
Hello, beautiful people of Goa. Hello, Bicol. Hello, world. To our LGU officials, our frontliners, PSU and Goa DepEd students, faculty, and staff, Merry Christmas to all of you. Let us make it really joyful as we gather together on December 22. With all the challenges of 2020, it's time to give ourselves a chance to recount and experience more blessings as we turn our frustration to inspiration and our pain to gain through our mental health dialogue. Hashtag be intentional. Please intend to be there. And hashtag PagHubay. Let's have some relief from our daily concerns. Thank you and see you soon.
Kaibanan man ang pamosong singer artist kan Pilipinas, Mr. Jed Madela. PagHubay. Kayat na ini, magkapot ka sana. Sa tao kan mga pagsakit asin kad-itan darakan pandemya, yaon kita nakikipaglaban para dagos ng mawara ang COVID-19 sa kinaban. Kadakol na ang sakripisyo. Nawaranin mga mahal sa buhay, maging ang hanap buhay, alagad uya kita. Dagos ang paglaom na igwapaning liwanag sa maabot na aldaw. Mati niya mo na lang kag ka na. Dakol ng panahon asin oportunidad ang luminihi sa imo. Pero yaon ka mo pig-aatubang anda inababarang nakalaban. Pigtatay ang buhay sa katibaaran para sa na kami maproteheran. Sa indong mga frontliners, ang samong halangkaw na pagsalulo. Aram niya mo na ding masasayang sa kapagalan nindo. Nahihiling kan mahal na Diyos ang lambang sakit asin pag-ingawa mo para sa gabos. Mati niya ang pagtios sa pagsiserbe, maging ang mga pagtangis mo, na ikanya pigpapabayaan. Sa maabot na pet sa 22 ngunya na Disyembre, dalanon asin hinanyugon ang programang pigdadara sa to kan Partido State University sa pagkikipagtabangan kan Department of Education asin kan lokal na gobyerno kan gawa. PagHubay. Sarong proyektong mataunin kabasugan sa satong kaisipan sa panahon kan namamating krisis pangsalod alay sa mga frontliners.
Hello, beautiful people of Goa. Hello, Bicol. Hello, world. To our LGU officials, our frontliners, PSU and Goa DepEd students, faculty, and staff, Merry Christmas to all of you. Let us make it really joyful as we gather together on December 22. With all the challenges of 2020, it's time to give ourselves a chance to recount and experience more blessings as we turn our frustration to inspiration and our pain to gain through our mental health dialogue. Be intentional. Please intend to be there. And hashtag PagHubay. Let's have some relief from our daily concerns. Thank you and see you soon.
Kaibanan man ang pabusong singer artist kan Pilipinas, Mr. Jed Madela. PagHubay. Kayat na ini, magkapot ka sana.
Ya, ang dadigyan internet. Uli kumapararti ni Widgob. Uli kaya kumapararti ni Widgob. Mga
Sa taong mga pagsakit asin kad-itan darakan pandemya, yaon kita nakikipaglaban para dagos ng mawara ang COVID-19 sa kinaban. Kadakol na ang sakripisyo. Nawaranin mga mahal sa buhay, maging ang hanap buhay, alagad uya kita. Dagos ang paglaom na igwapaning liwanag sa maabot na aldaw. Mati niya mo na lang kag ka na. Dakol ng panahon asin oportunidad ang luminihi sa imo. Pero yaon ka mo pig-aatubang anda inababarang nakalaban. Pigtatay ang buhay sa katibaaran para sa na kami maproteheran. Sa indong mga frontliners, ang samong halangkaw na pagsalulo. Aram niya mo na rin masasayang sa kapagalan nito. Nahihiling kan mahal na Diyos ang lambang sakit asin pag-ingawa mo para sa gabos. Mati niya ang pagtios sa pagsiserbe, maging ang mga pagtangis mo, na ikanya pigpapabayaan. Sa maabot na pet sa 22 ngunya na Disyembre, dalanon asin hinanyugon ang programang pigdadara sa to kan Partido State University sa pagkikipagtabangan kan Department of Education asin kan lokal na gobyerno kan gawa. PagHubay. Sarong proyektong mataunin kabasugan sa satong kaisipan sa panahon kan namamating krisis pangsalod alay sa mga frontliners.
Hello, beautiful people of Goa. Hello, Bicol. Hello, world. To our LGU officials, our frontliners, PSU and GOA DepEd students, faculty, and staff, Merry Christmas to all of you. Let us make it really joyful as we gather together on December 22. With all the challenges of 2020, it's time to give ourselves a chance to recount and experience more blessings as we turn our frustration to inspiration and our pain to live through our mental health dialogue. Hashtag be intentional. Please intend to be there. And hashtag PagHubay. Let's have some relief from our daily concerns. Thank you and see you soon.
Kaibanan man ang pamosong singer-artist kan Pilipinas, Mr. Jed Madela. Paghubay, kayat na ini, magkapot ka sana. Sa tao kan mga pagsakit asin kadilan darakan pandemya, yaon kita, nakikipaglaban para dagos ng mawara ang COVID-19 sa kinaban. Kadakol na ang sakripisyo. Nawaranin mga mahal sa buhay, maging ang hanap buhay, alagad una kita. Dagos ang paglaom na igwapaning liwanag sa maabot na aldaw. Mati niya mo na lang kagana. Dahol ng panahon asin oportunidad ang luminihis sa imo. Pero yaon kung pig-aatubang ang daing nagbabarang nakalaban. Pigtatay ang buhay sa katibaaran para sa na kami maproteheran. Sa indong mga frontliners, ang samong halangkaw na pagsalulo. Aram niya mo na daing masasayang sa kapagalan nindo. Nahihiling kan mahal na Diyos ang lambang sakit asin paghingawa mo para sa gabos. Mati niya ang pagtio sa pagsiserbe, maging ang mga pagtangis mo, dahil kanya pigpapabayaan. Sa maabot na pet sa 22 ngunya na Disyembre, dalanon asin hinanyugon ang programang pigdadara sa to kan Partido State University sa pakikipagtabangan kan Department of Education asin kan lokal na gobyerno kan GOA. Paghubay, sarong proyektong mataunin kabasugan sa satong kaisipan sa panahon ka namamating krisis pangsalod alay sa mga frontliners.
Hello, beautiful people of Goa. Hello, Bicol. Hello, world. To our LGU officials, our frontliners, PSU and GOA DepEd students, faculty, and staff, Merry Christmas to all of you. Let us make it really joyful as we gather together on December 22. With all the challenges of 2020, it's time to give ourselves a chance to recount and experience more blessings as we turn our frustration to inspiration and our pain to gain through our mental health dialogue. Hashtag be intentional. Please intend to be there. And hashtag PagHubay. Let's have some relief from our daily concerns. Thank you and see you soon.
Kaibanan man ang pamosong singer-artist kan Pilipinas, Mr. Jed Madela. Paghubay, kayat na ini, magkapot ka sana.
Ha?
Ano na nagpuuna sa SBEP dahil nakakalaon mo kaya kami man, bigyan trabaho may nga maintindihan mo, ikukuyan yan, Pindo. Deka muna problema.
Sa gitna ng pandemya ang ating nararanasan at sa kabila ng mga nagdaang kalamidad sa ating lugar, buong puso po naming inihahandog dito sa Partido State University sa pakikipagtulungan sa lokal na gobyerno ng Goa Camarines Sur at Department of Education Goa, kasama ang KMFM, Radyo Partido at Isarog Broadcasting, ang ating pong programa ngayong araw, PagHubay, Understanding Mental Health During the Time of Pandemic. Well, maybe some of you are wondering, ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng paghubay? Paghubay is a Bicol term which means to feel a period of relief, to feel a period of clarity. As what our resource speaker said in our promotion video, let's have some relief from our daily concerns. With the challenges we had this year and with the challenges that most of us are still experiencing, let's take this chance to be together in this mental health dialogue. Welcome to our webinar, PagHubay, Understanding Mental Health During the Time of Pandemic. Now, before we formally start our program, please allow me to acknowledge and say maray na aga to our dear Mayor. We have Honorable Marcel S. Pan and his wife, who is one of those who initiated this webinar. We have Dr. Ruby Priscilla Pan. Please allow me also to greet our University President, PARSU President, Dr. Raul G. Bradesina. Isang napakagandang umaga din po sa ating resource speaker, Dr. Clarissa de la Llarte. Magandang umaga din sa ating special guest, Mr. Jed Madela, who will be giving a very special performance later on. Other officials of the local government unit of Goa, DepEd Goa, and Partido State University, sa mga nanonood sa atin via FB Live and YouTube Live, sa mga nakikinig sa KMFM, Radyo Partido at Isarog Broadcasting, at sa ating frontliners. Isang mapagpalang umaga po sa inyong lahat and welcome to our webinar. At this juncture, please let's put ourselves in the presence of our Lord and ask for His guidance through a simple prayer, which will be immediately followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem through this audio-visual presentation. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, Amen. Dear Lord, thank you for this new day you have given me. Today, please help me to focus more on what is right instead of all that is wrong. Help me to change what I can and leave everything else in your hands. May your joy be my strength and your peace fill my heart. Help me to remember that any burdens I face are meant to rest on your shoulders, not mine. What is too much for me to bear is not too much for you. You will help me handle all that I am given. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. Father, the Son, Holy Spirit. Amen.
ang awit ng Pilipinas.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, I hope everyone's ready for our mental health discussion this morning. So just sit back, relax, and be with us. Now we'll have the presentation of house rules for this webinar to be, smooth sailing. Please watch and read this. I think an audiovisual presentation will be played for the house rules. All right, thank you so much. Now, in addition, we would like to remind everyone, please do not use the chat box for unnecessary remarks or pleasantries. Also, the Q&A will be used for webinar-related questions. Please do not flood our chat box with questions. Post them in the Q&A. So if you have something to ask, you post them in the Q&A. Later on in the open forum, our resource speaker will be answering questions posted in the Q&A section. So as the webinar progresses, you may post your questions in the Q&A. Questions may be liked, by the way. So meron tayong like button dun sa questions na nakapost, merong like button dun. So for every question, yung like button, the like button may be clicked by our participants, which would be one of our bases on deciding later during the open forum which questions to ask. So the questions with the most number of likes, yun ang ipaprioritize po namin during the open forum. And of course, please do not forget to accomplish our online evaluation form for this webinar. I think the link will be posted later. Okay, so we now move on to the opening remarks. Please welcome Partido State University, our very own Dr. Raul G. Bradesina.
Sa ating speaker, Dr. Clarissa Diliarte, Executive Secretary ng Psychological Association of the Philippines, mga mamamayan at tagapakinig sa partido, Mayor Marcel Pan, Madam Roby Pan at ang kanyang pamilya, mga opisyal ng DepEd sa partido at mga guro, mga kasama sa partido, State University at mga estudyante. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. dahil sa lawak ng ating programa. Hinihingi ko po ang inyong pahintulot na bigkasin ko sa Bicol ang aking mensahe. Igwang kasabihan sa Latin na mensana in corpore sano. Sa tataramo na Ingles, a sound mind and a sound body. Ang buot sabihon, masarik. Masarik na salud sa isip, sa masarik na salud kan lawas. Nagpapahayag ini ng versatility. A person is only healthy when he is occupied both intellectually and physically. Pag-abot sa salud, asin maray na pagmate, inot na tinatawan niya to atensyon, ang salud kan physical na lawas. Tigipon niya to mag-ehersisyo, magkakan prutas, asin kung ano-ano pa. Alagad, haros mayo magtao nin importansya sa salud kan isip. Sa mga nakaaging mga taon, ang tawo nagtatao nin importansya sa salud kan sa iyang lawas. Arog baga kan mga army na nagtitraining pirmi, nganing magkaigwanin maray na lawas, tanganing maging masarig asin matibay. Alagad sa ngunyan na panahon niya to, naigwaning pandemic asin sunod-sunod na mga kalamidad, pareho man dapat ang itaon niya to na importansya sa salud kan sa tuyang isip. Dahil kita magiging balanse kung ma-focus lang kita sa satuyang salud pisikal, asin dahil niya to piktauan ng importansya ang salud mental. Na kung sain, igbabayaan niya to ang satuyang psikolohikal na kondisyon. Ini kaipo na marhay. Lalo na talaga kung gusto niya to magkaigwa, din magayon na buhay, asin maging produktibo pareho sa lado pisikal, asin mental. Ang mga tao na nagkaigwang helang sa isip o emosyon, igwang hababa na immunidad sigon sa mga eksperto, o kaya maluyang kakayahan na labanan ang mga helang. Nagkakausa ini na managi siyang hirilangon. Aram ta daw po kaya na may koneksyon ang lawas asin isip kan tawo. Halimbawa, kung ikaw may makulog sa lawas, pwedeng maapektuhan ang sa imong trabaho asin pamilya. Alagad, pwede man kaining maapektuhan ang maray na kondisyon kan sa imong pag-iisip na may hiling sa pag-i-eksperyensya ning pagiging mapunguton o stress, pagkahandal pirme o anxiety, asin pagkamundo na grabe o depresyon. Ang pandemya nagdadara sa tuya, bako sa naninhelang sa lawas, darakan virus, kundi siring man nin takot, kahaditan, asin pag-agam-agam. Ang pagkadislukar kan ekonomiya niya to, asin kan mga trabaho, darakan pandemya, nagdaranin kadaing pag-asa, asin kamunduan sa tubos. Ang mga eksperyensyang ini, nagpapaluya kan sa tuyang salud sa pag-isip, siring man kan sa tuyang salud sa lawas, na minapaluya, padagos, kan sa tung resistensya kontra sa COVID-19. Sa panahon ng COVID pandemic, bako sanang dapat makusog ang salud, kundi siring man ang satuyang isip asin emosyon. Ang webinar na PagHubay na sinuportahan kan satuyang mga pag-iriba, kan duwang radyo, ang KM asin RP, ang satong mayor asin ang sa iyang first lady, asin ang mga pag-iribata sa DepEd, siring man ang Partido State University. Ang buot sabihon kan paghubay, masarig na emosyon o isip, mayo nin kahatitan, asin tuninong. Igwa inin katuyuhan na masaputan nin hararong ang satuyang salod sa isip, asin emosyon. Ang webinar na ini igwang katuyuhan na hararom niya to na masabutan asin maesplikar sa tuya na ang salud sa isip o mental health iyo ang kabilugan ang sa tuyang psikolohikal, sosyal, asin emosyonal na kondisyon. Naapektuhan kan kondisyon kan salud mental o salud kan sa tuyang pag-iisip. Kung paano kita mag-isip, magmati, asin maghiro o mag-aksyon sa satuyang pagbuhay-buhay. An sa imong kakayahan na imanihar o pangatamana, an sa imong emosyon, kapungutan, asin an sa imong pakikipag-iba-iba sa kapwa, asin siring man ang pag-ibo ni mga desisyon, dakulang maray na naapektuhan kang sa imong kondisyon psikolohikal. Napaagi kan sa tuyang hararom na pakanuod, manungod sa mental health, sa irarom kang webinar na ini. Kita gigiyahan na magduman sa profesional na magpubulong kanganing matauan tulos ning treatment o para mabulong ang sa tuyang kamatayan. Sa pag-uurulay-ulay asin pagkimati, sa mga urulay, manungod sa salud kan isip, araw kan sa tong webinar na ini, pinapahalangkaw ang sa tuyang awareness o pakasabot manungod sa mental health. Naedukar kita o nakakanood. Siring man nakakatao kitang suporta sa mga nakaka-experience sa kainay, ningulit na naiintindihan ta sinda. Interest na wara ang sala na pagpisto sa mga tawong nag-experience ng problema o pagluya kan salud sa isip. Ining nagigibuhon ta na pag-urulay-ulay manungod sa mental health. Nagpapararom kan sa tuyang pagkaintindi kung ano ini. Nagpapahiwas kan sa tuyang pakasabot kan manungod sa mental health. Asin, nagpapakusok nin suporta sa nagkakaiguanin maluyang salud sa isip. Importante ining marahin ang hulita, iyo ini ang magiging giya na magbukas nin pintuan para sa mga tao na sinda magpabulong o magpahiling sa doktor manunungod sa indang kondisyon sa emosyon na namamatian darakang pandemya asin mga kalamitan. Importante ining marahin nin huli sa mga tawong nabubuhay na may maluyang salud sa pag-iisip asin emosyon parati sindang nagkakaigwa din seryosong kahilangan. Sabi nga ni sa English, mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. Dapat kinanyugon kang maray ang satuyang speaker sa adlaw na ini. Manungod sa eksperto niyang pagdiskurso, manungod sa mental health, na kaipuhan niya to na mintindihan, tatahaw kang pandemya, asin mga nag-araging kalamidad. Bako sana na apektaran ka ini ang sa indong desisyon, kundi ang sa induman na pinansya o ekonomiya sa harap. Generalmente, itong mga tao na iguan ng mga problema sa pag-iisip, pirmi sindang nag-absent sa trabaho, masingani sa trabaho na isindan nakakapokus sa indang mga pagigibo. Kaya maluya ang sa indang pagiging produktibo asin na isinda nagkakaigwan ng ganada sa alda. Kung kaya maginanyok kitang maray nganing maaraman ta ang importansya kan mental health sa tuyang buhay. Siring man ang mental health na apektaran ang satong mga pamilya. Itong mga aki, kan mga tao na iguaning hilang sa pag-iisip o emosyon, halimbawa, may posibilidad na magsuprir sinda ng sobrang pag-aabuso, pagpapabaya, asin anuman na mga isyo manungod sa pag-abusong emosyonal, asin mga pagkukulang sa indang behavior. Itong mga aki na nagiging biktima kan pamilya na igwa ng miyembro na may isyo o problema sa mental health, Ang nangyayari, pina-isolate sila kan sa ninda. Nagsusulo-sulo sila asin ini nadadara sa indang pagkurang na kung sa'y naapektaran ang sa indang pagbuhay. Ini kung da'y natamamanihar na maray asin da'y natatawan na ning atensyon pinadiretso ini sa mga delikado na mga aksyon araw kan mga nagkakahiling sa Facebook mo niyan asin sa internet. Good mental health can give you a longer and happier life. Inanyo ko niya to ang sa tuyang eksperto na magdiskutir ka ini, Dr. Clarissa Dilyarte. Diyos maray na aldaw po sa Indogabo.
Alright, so thank you so much, Dr. Raul G. Bradesina. Siya po ang napaka-supportive naming University President dito. At this juncture, please help me in welcoming our esteemed Municipal Mayor. I'm going to request for a resounding virtual applause from everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, for his message, please welcome Honorable Marcel S. Pan.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat dito sa bayan ng Goa at sa mga karatig bayan na inaabot ng signal ng DCRP, Radyo Partido at KMFM Partido. Bayagan niyo po akong magsalita sa salitang Tagalog para po mas marami pong makakaintindi, hindi lang po dito sa partido, kundi yung mga lahat din po na nakikinig sa ibang lugar dito sa Camarines Sur o sa Albay o sa Catanduanes, inaabot ng signal ng dalawang radio stations na to at yung mga naka-online ngayon. Magandang umaga, tanghali o gabi rin sa mga naka-online ngayon sa Isarog Broadcasting at sa webinar na ito na nasa ibang lugar o nasa ibang bansa sa ngayon. Buhat na magsimula ang pandemya ng COVID-19, lahat tayo ay naepektuhan. Ang ating negosyo, kabuhayan, trabaho, ang ating pag-aaral, at ang ating social life, at maging ang ating buhay spiritual. Maraming ibinabawal o restrictions sa mga dati nating ginagawa. Hindi tayo basta-bastang nakakalabas ng bahay, lalo ang matatanda at mga bata. Marami ang nawalan ng trabaho, marami ang nagugutom, marami ang nahiwalay sa kanilang mga mahal sa buhay, lalo na yung mga nagtatrabaho sa ibang bansa o sa ibang lugar na hindi makauwi. May mga namatayan sa pamilya na hindi makauwi o yung mga kamag-anakan ay hindi makapunta sa burol dahil sa mga travel restrictions. May mga nagkakasakit na hindi mabantayan ng kanilang kapamilya dahil hindi makauwi o kung naka-confine man sa ospital ay hindi rin mabantayan o mabisita man lang ng mga kamag-anak. Maraming pinagbabawal sa atin na sa parte naman namin sa lokal na gobyerno ay obligado kaming isakatuparan para naman sa kapakanan ng lahat. Kaya buong pagmamalaki rin namin na masasabi na bagamat may 8 tayong nag-positive sa COVID-19 dito sa ating bayan, ang mga ito ay dala ng mga locally stranded individuals. Ito ay dahil sa pagtutulungan ng buong sambayanan, simula sa pamilya, sa sityo o sa purok, sa barangay, sa lokal na gobyerno, at ng iba't ibang ahensya ng gobyerno, ng transport sector, at ng pribadong sektor. Pero ang pinakamahalaga sa lahat ay ang pakikipagtulungan ng lahat ng tao upang hindi kumalat ang pandemyang ito gaya ng nararanasan ngayon sa Amerika at sa ibang mayayamang bansa at maging sa ibang bahagi ng ating bansa mismo. Pero may sakit pa rin na nakakaapekto sa ating lahat bukod sa pandemyang ito. Maaaring hindi nyo lang nararamdaman, pero ito ay unti-unting kumakalat sa ating mga katawan. Ito ay sakit na sa isip na dala ng stress, na sa pagtagal ng panahon ay nagiging depression. Ang depression ay nagdadala ng sakit sa iba't ibang parte ng katawan. Pero ang pinakamabigat nito ay ang nadadalang sakit sa ating mga isip. Kaya sa pagtutulungan ng lokal na gobyerno ng Bayan ng Goa, Partido State University, DepEd Goa, DCRP Radyo Partido, KMFM Partido, at ng Isarog Broadcasting, Pakinggan po natin ngayon ang isang bihasang ginang na dalubhasa sa larangan ng Psychology at Executive Secretary ng Psychological Association of the Philippines sa temang PagHubay, Understanding Mental Health During the Time of Pandemic. Makinig po tayo, matuto at isabuhay ang ating matututunan. Magandang araw po sa ating lahat.
Magandang araw din po, Mayor. So, siya po ang ating kagalang-galang na Mayor sa Bayan ng Goa, Mayor Marcel Pan. Salamat po sa napakagandang mensahe. Now, we're approaching webinar proper. But before that, let's have the presentation of the resource speaker by one of the brains behind this event. To introduce our webinar's resource speaker, please welcome Dr. Ruby Priscilla Pan.
Good morning, everyone. Our guest speaker is a licensed guidance counselor and a licensed psychologist. She is the former Dean of College of Arts, Sciences, and Education of St. Paul University, Quezon City. Along with her more than 30 years of teaching, counseling, and administrative experience, she has served as Psychology Program Director, Guidance Counselor, and Guidance Chairperson. She is also a board member of the Psychological Association of the Philippines and has recently been elected as its executive secretary for 2020-2021. She is a PACOCOA accreditor, professor, lecturer at UST and FEU Graduate School, and an associate professor at VLSU. She is also a psychologist at FEU Guidance Services Clinic and LifeMap Psychological Consultancy. She holds an MA and PhD degree in psychology from UST, summa cum laude and magna cum laude, respectively, in her masteral and dissertation defense. She was also trained in cognitive behavioral therapy for personality disorders by Doctors Janet and Aaron Beck at Beck Institute in Philadelphia, USA. Her research interests include family functioning, adolescent behavior, psychological well-being, and pedagogical approaches, which she has presented and published in both local and international fora. The latest of which is a co-authorship on Unraveling Non-Suicidal Self-Injury, Understanding the Behavioral Dynamics of Filipino Adolescents at Risk of Deliberate Self-Harm at North America Journal of Psychology. She has been awarded by St. Paul University, Quezon City, the prestigious Mir Murray de Latelli Professorial Chair Award, as well as Best Researcher in her papers, Caring Characteristics of Teachers and Psychological Well-Being of Adolescent Children of Migrant Workers. She also serves as resource speaker, consultant, trainer, and workshop facilitator on interactive management, customer service, self-development, work-life balance, empowered parenting, counseling skills, stress management, bullying, managing emotions, and other mental health topics in schools, as well as private and government agencies. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker, who is a good friend, beautiful in and out. Mga kaiman mo mi sa Goa, as in sa bilog na partido, it is my honor to present to you our speaker, Dr. Clarissa F. De Lariarte.
Thank you very much, Dr. B, and thank you very much for this opportunity to be able to join you in this very important day. Maray na aga, Goa. Maray na aga, Bicol. Good morning, Philippines. So officials and personnel from Partido State University, led by President Dr. Raul Radesina. Maray na aga po. LGU officials led by the Honorable Marcel Pan and his First Lady, Dr. Ruby Pan. Wala kang kakupas-kupas, ma'am. You're still as beautiful as when I saw you 8 years ago. I remember you very early in the morning. Coming po, na pumunta po si Doc Ruby sa St. Paul University, Quezon City. Napakaaga, no? Para po ako ay bigyan ng pagkakataong makapagbigay ng aking talk, no? Sa mga taga Catanduanes, DepEd. Okay? So, you're still as beautiful as you were 8 years ago, Doc. Of course, our DepEd officials and most of all, our frontliners, faculty, staff, students, parents, our listeners from the 2 or 3 radio stations, and everyone, maray na aga po sa inyong lahat. It's really a privilege and honor to be with you this morning. Okay? So as we have said in our promotional video, let's be intentional. Next slide, please. Let's be intentional today. And our intentions is to make the most out of it. Sabi po ni Mayor, makinig po tayo at matuto. Marami po siguro dito sa mga mapapakinggan natin ay alam na natin. Pero maganda po ay mag-review po tayo. At ito ay binigyang pansin din po ng ating Partido State University, Dr. Raul. No? At binigyan na tayo ng magandang konteksto ng ating mayor at ang ating presidente ng PSU kung bakit kailangan nating mag-review tungkol sa mental health, no? Ang dami ng mga issues, ang daming mga bagay na nangyari brought about by the pandemic. Okay? So we really have to have a sound mind in a sound body. Okay? Hindi lang po healthy, hindi lang maganda na pangangatawan, no? It has to go with a very healthy and a very sound mind. Okay? So our intentions this morning, next slide please, is first to recognize the importance of mental health, okay? And to know the role of self-care. Very important po ang self-care sa mental health. And of course, to identify concrete steps in caring for one's self. Let's have a short profiling first. Can we have this profiling first? So gusto natin malaman ang ating variation ng ating participants. So put letter A if you are a frontliner, B if you're a barangay official or LGU official, student, faculty and staff, and others. Okay, let's give a minute for that. Let's see the profile of our participants. We also have participants from other universities. No, we have one from Batangas State University. Okay, welcome, sir. I was once in Batangas State University, no, at one time for accreditation. So do we have the results? Ayan. Please click polls po and vote. Oh, marami ang faculty and staff and a very young pa, 21 to 30. Okay, 21 to 30 years old. Meron din below 20. So we have students here. Welcome, my dear students. Okay. Aba, married and single, parang 48%. Marami pa pala single, no? And then, pero may 3% na taken. At walang available. Okay. So we really have a very relatively young audience, no? 21 to 30, although 31 to 40 and 41, 50, if you combine them together, that's 42%. And of course, students, 10%, faculty and staff, 83%. And very good, we have our frontliners with us, okay? So that's our profile. So we will be able to, I hope, no, put into context the different concepts and the different issues that you'll be discussing in accordance to your situations, okay? Let's have another poll, okay? This one would be concerns, okay? What are your concerns at this time? Is it work-related, people-related, or health-related? If this is not part of the of the poll. Okay, you can just answer via chat box. So ano mga concerns natin? Sa trabaho ba? Sa mga tao ba? Mga magagalitin na tao? Mga chismosong tao? Mga taong mahirap pakisamahan? Okay? O health related? Okay? Meron na ba tayong mga sakit? Mga diabetes? Okay? Mga heart related problems? Saan ho ang ating mga concerns? Pwede rin hong ABC or A and B or A and C. Ayan, may mga sagot tayo via chat box. A and B, work and people related. Okay, good, no? You are still healthy, sir. Wala ka pang concern sa health. Okay? A and B. Okay, paborito ang A and B. Oo, hindi natin talaga maiiwasan, no? Ang mga concerns related sa work and related sa mga kasamahan, no? Sa trabaho, kasamahan sa bahay, kasamahan sa barangay, okay? Letter A, work-related, okay? So we have actually many concerns, no? Multiple concerns. So this is one reason why there is a need for mental health, okay? Next slide, please. So our concerns, no, as adults and even students, no, can be work-related or academic-related. There's too much work, no? Pero we have too little time, no? Even with the pandemic, parang kulang pa rin tayo sa oras, no? Minsan, ang concern natin yung trabaho mismo, okay? At saka yung workload, pwedeng dumami. As a faculty, for example, parang mas madami ngayon ng mga documentations to accomplish, no? And to submit on time, okay? And of course, we have to multitask because we have to finish our work, okay? And of course, we have the new normal, work from home arrangement, no? At nabanggit ho kanina ni Mayor, marami hong nawalan ng trabaho o kaya nabawasan ng kita. Okay? So ito mga concerns natin related to our situation now. Okay? As far as people, next slide please, is concerned, no? Concern natin ang mga taong mga madaling magalit, no? Concern natin ang mga taong hindi natin mapakisamahan ng mabuti, no? Family concerns, no? Medyo na-aggravate ngayon ang mga concerns sa pamilya kasi dati hindi kayo nagsasama ng mas matagal. Ngayon, pag nagsasama ng mas matagal, pwedeng, no? Pagmulan ng mga issues, no? Ng mga irita sa isa't isa, okay? Siyempre, mga people at work, no? Mga kasamahan sa bahay, unhealthy relationships, okay? And the challenge, of course, of online work with online classes of children, okay? Marami mga cases ngayon ng mga parents na hindi alam hindi literate sa computer pero dahil sa online class ng mga anak, no? Wala hong choice, okay? Kung hindi matuto, alamin kung paano ginagawa ang online class, no? At mabuti 'yon, no? That's supporting your children, okay? So it can actually be also a time together to bond or you can choose to be irritated, okay? Ano ba ang mas pipiliin natin? Bonding time o irritation time, okay? So that is as far as people-related concerns is concerned. Okay, another would be health-related. Next slide, please. At ito ay dala ng ating kinakain, environment, pollution, stress, okay? So yung ating sickness, lack of sleep, no? Maybe too much thinking, no? We have difficulty concentrating. And of course, natatakot tayo baka may magkaroon ng sakit sa ating pamilya, no? Related sa virus, no? And of course, mental health issues, okay? And this pandemic also has served as a precipitating factor or trigger, no? Doon sa pag-increase ng gamit ng alcohol and substances. At medyo na iba ang sleeping and eating patterns natin. Okay? So, with all of these concerns, next slide please, are our multiple roles. Ang dami ho nating roles sa buhay. Okay? So, you are a frontliner, at the same time, you are a father, you're a husband, you're a community member, you're a student, but you're also a son, you're a daughter, you're also maybe an org president, an org official, okay? You are a government or a barangay official. At the same time, may maliit kang business, okay? Co-employee ka, kapatid ka, nag-aalaga ka ng nanay, tatay na may sakit. Ang dami. Ang dami nating roles sa buhay. With all the concerns previously stated, tapos ang ating mga concerns na napakadami, okay? There is no escaping from this. Wala ho tayong ligtas. Wala hong exempted. Okay? Yung mas maganda pa, mas kokonti ang ano, yung mas, ang problema, yung mas matanda, mas bata, hindi ho, lahat ho tayo ay meron. Kaya napaka-importante po na kailangan tugunan natin ng isang magandang healthy mind and a healthy body. Okay. Sa lahat ng roles na yan, ano mga paborito nyong role? Next slide, please. What is your favorite role? Minsan may paborito tayong role sa buhay eh. Okay? You can just answer by yourself, no? Self-reflection. Minsan may paborito kang role, ano yon? Pagiging empleyado. Yun lang. Yun lang ang paborito mong role. Asa na yung pagiging nanay, pagiging tatay, pagiging anak, pagiging kapatid, pagiging kapitbahay. Naku, lahat po tayo, no? May mga iba-ibang roles. So minsan the boat is sinking, no? Medyo pag ganon, may paborito tayong role, no? So kailangan mindful and conscious po tayo na lahat ng yan ay mga roles na kailangan nating gampanan. Okay? And added to this, next slide please, is that we are living already in a digital world. Okay? Technology related na lang. Thanks to technology, no? We don't have to travel to Bicol. We don't have to spend so much time and energy, money, no? Pero dahil sa digital world also, medyo nagkaroon tayo ng different belief system. At ang mga relationships, medyo nag-iiba rin ang landscape, no? Nag-iiba rin po ang landscape, and it has brought us a lot of problems and risk. Ang dami hong phenomena dyan, like Facebook depression, meron tinatawag na fabbing. Ano yung fabbing? Kumakain po kayong lahat pero lahat kayo nakatingin sa cellphone nyo, no? So snubbing. Snubbing po yung ano yung pinagmulan niya. Ito fabbing, okay? So isa ho ito sa mga bagay-bagay na mga kailangan mindful ho tayo. Kailangan i-maximize natin yung technology pero hindi kailangan tayo magkaroon ng mga ma-experience natin yung mga phenomena na hindi dapat, okay? And because of this, yung complexity ng pagpapalaki ng anak, no? Pagturo sa estudyante, pagtugon sa mga pangangailangan ng community ay naiba na rin, okay? So, in the context of COVID, next slide please, no? As mentioned earlier by our dear mayor and our dear president, no? It has brought us a lot of stress. Okay, I'm sure for the faculty and staff, no, who are not used to online classes, naku, hanggang ngayon, I'm sure meron pa ring stress na dala. Okay, no, ng paggawa ng lessons online, how to engage your students online, okay, and all those concerns, okay, and then of course, it has limited our socialization, no, medyo nabawasan ang ating pakikipagsalamuha. It's a basic need, no, lalo na yung mga taong very sociable, no? So malaki ho ang impact niyan. And of course, financial impact, no? Nabawasan ang kita o nawalan ng trabaho, and you know, kapag ka po wala tayong maiuwi na pambili ng pagkain, really it will be a good cause, a reason for not really in a good state of mind. And of course, yung passion natin, yung mga hobbies natin, no? Naapektuhan din. Kaya with all of these contexts, okay, marami tayong mga concerns, pero next slide please. Sabi nga nila, okay? Ito po ay isang Korean novela. Sinong nanonood ng Korean novela sa inyo, no? Ito ay isa sa Korean novela na Backstreet Rookie, no? Ang sabi ho doon ay greatest realizations are in worst times. And this pandemic actually, no? This 2020, ang dami nating sinet na goal. January, February. March tayo nag-lockdown. Pero February, meron na yan, January, and we never thought talaga, we are all caught off guard. Parang nabigla tayo, no? Bigla na lang, parang we were given, 2-3 days, bawal lang lumabas. Okay? Ganun ka-emergency yung pandemic na yun. Ang dami nating plinano for 2020. Malamang marami doon, hindi ho nangyari. Okay? But, okay, ang sabi ho dito sa slide natin, it also made us realize the things that we have. Totoo ho yun. Biglang na-realize natin, okay din naman palang, ito na lang ang meron at yun ay wala na. Pwede rin palang magkakasama sa bahay, no? Pwede rin palang hindi mag-SM, hindi mag-malling, ang dami palang pwedeng hindi na gawin. And yet, we are able to survive. So it made us, no, realize a lot of things and the things that truly matter in life. Kaya nga po, sabi nga po ng ating famous, next slide please, na Kobe Bryant, okay? Every negative pressure, no? Every challenge is an opportunity, sabi niya, for me to rise. Very inspiring. Okay? Very, very inspiring. For basketball players, mental toughness is number one. Hindi lang ho physical yan. So balik tayo po tayo doon sa sinabi ng ating President Raul earlier, no? No, hindi lang sound mind, physically tough, kailangan mentally tough din. Okay? Kailangan we have to toughen, we have to strengthen our mind. Okay? Kaya maganda, we can learn a lot from this quotation from Kobe Bryant. No? Every negative pressure and challenge brought about by this pandemic is really an opportunity for all of us to rise. I'm sure ang dami na nating natutunan with this pandemic. Ito lang online class, ang tagal pinag-uusapan to eh. Ang hirap pumasok, ang traffic, ang pollution, di ba? So sa isang banda, natugunan yun. Okay? Ang dami nating mga urong-sulong eh. Mag-online class na ba? Mag-blended class na ba? Ito na, puwersa na ho tayo. Okay? So it's an opportunity for all of us in any pressure or in any challenge. Okay? So, do challenges end? Next slide, please. Yan po ba ay matatapos? Ay hindi ho matatapos. Okay? Ang pandemiko ay isa lang yan sa mga pagdadaanan natin. Marami pa hong darating sa buhay natin na well, it can be another virus, parang sa news kahapon, no? Sa ano daw, sa where is this? In England, no? Parang may bagong strain, no, ng coronavirus, okay? But apart from that, okay, ang dami hong challenges nakita mo dating kanina, no? Yung ating multiple roles and concerns in life, they will never end. Okay? As a student, when you graduate from high school or you graduate from college later on, ay salamat, nakagraduate na ako, wala na ako, hindi na ako mag-aaral. But you're working right now. And when you are working, another set of challenges. And then after 3 or 4 or 5 years, you get married. Marriage is a very challenging task. Okay? And if you choose to get married, another set of challenge. If you are a faculty, a young faculty, you have a long way to go. Okay? You have to toughen yourself. You have to strengthen yourself. It will never end. So if you're a frontliner, okay, an LGU official, a parent, challenges, they never end. Okay? And therefore, next slide please. Ayan. Ang mga muscle, okay? Ang mga muscle ng katawan. Okay? Para medyo kahit anong suntok na mangyari dyan, hindi ka kaagad matutumba. Kasi pinalakas ka ng mga weights. Diba? More weight each time, the more tough ang katawan. Ganun din ho ang ating mental health, ang ating psychological well-being. Kaya we welcome challenges. Mga weights po yan sa buhay na nagbibigay sa atin ng mga muscles. Kailangan ho ng muscles, pampatibay ng kalooban. Pampatibay ng dibdib. Okay? Imagine nyo, pag walang mga challenges, ay wala ho tayong muscle na pwedeng pagkuhanan, sabi nga natin, they never end, di ba? So kailangan, no? Sige ba? Come on, bring it on. Okay? I am prepared, no? I am having exercise every day, no? Meron akong muscular activities every day that toughen my psychological being. Okay? And therefore, next slide please. Okay? With all of these contexts, okay? Mental health is a basic necessity. Alam na ho natin ang basic necessity. Dati, may pagkain ka, may shelter ka, okay? Meron kang damit to keep you warm. Ngayon po, isama na natin ang mental health. Importante ho talaga yan. Ang dami ho nabanggit ni President Raul na consequences pagka ikaw ay hindi mentally healthy. Pala-absent ka. Pag nanay ka, paano ang mga anak mo? Kapag ka ikaw ay official, paano nasasakupan mo? Kapag ka ikaw ay anak, nag-aalaga ng nanay, tatay na may sakit, paano yun if you're not mentally healthy? So it's a necessity, okay? As a student, you have to invest in this as a faculty. Whatever your role in life is, there has to be some kind of investment. At pag nag-invest po tayo, medyo ho yan merong kailangang return yung ating investment. Okay? So tandaan ho natin, no? let's be mindful. We have to invest in our mental health. Okay? Because according to World Health Organization, next slide please, mental health is more than the absence of mental disorders. Hindi dahil sa tumatawa-tawa ako o hindi dahil sa nakakapasok ako, wala akong mental health issue. Pwede hong meron ako noon. Kaya lang, I have very good coping skills. Okay? Lahat po tayo walang exempted dyan eh. No? But some of us are very good in our coping. No? So let's put mental health as part of our health regimen. Okay? Hindi lang healthy body. Hindi lang masarap na pagkain, kailang magandang kaisipan. No? Active na kabuhayan. No? Mamaya pag-uusapan ho natin yan. And of course, World Health Organization also says there is really no health without mental health. Okay? So balik tayo dun sa sinasabi na the real wealth pala talaga is health. At dati ang konsepto natin yung health na yan, pag wala ka lang sakit sa katawan. Okay? Eh ngayon ho, isama ho natin pag wala kang sakit sa kaisipan. If you are psychologically and physically healthy, my gosh, you are a very wealthy person. You're very rich. Ang yaman mo po. Ang dami hong gusto makipagpalit sa'yo. Yan ho, isa sa mga bagay na hindi mabibili talaga ng pera. Okay? So let's invest in our mental health. Okay? So, who will give all these chances? Sino po? Next slide, please. Sino po magbibigay nung chance na yan? For us to be psychologically, physically, and mentally healthy. Okay? Who will give yourselves the chance? Definitely, tama po kayo. Nobody else but you. You alone can give yourself the chance. Kahit ilang webinars pa ho yan, kahit ilang support groups ho yan, kahit ilang encouragement po ibigay sa inyo yan, the final decision will always be coming from you. Okay? So, I'd like to emphasize again, okay? Next slide, please. Invest in self-care and family care. This is a very essential practice. At hindi ho tayo mag-i-invest lang ito pag Pasko, pag pagka-June, quarterly, once a year, hindi ho pwede. Kailangan mag-invest ho tayo dito araw-araw. Okay? It has to be an investment on a daily basis. Okay? So mental health, next slide please, is everyone's business. It's everyone's business, okay? Because we don't want to lose our health, we don't want to lose our family, and we don't want to lose ourselves. Okay? Ang dami hong umaasa sa atin. Sobrang daming umaasa. If you're a student, kung sabing walang umaasa sa iyo, mga magulang mo, umaasa sa iyo. You are their hope. You are their inspiration. So you better take care of yourself. If you're a faculty member, ay sobra ho ang umaasa sa inyo. Naku, ang mga estudyante ho natin. Kaya bawal po talagang mawala sa sarili. Okay? So we really have to mind our mental health. Okay? If you're a government official, if you're a frontliner, if you're a parent, my goodness, ang dami hong umaasa sa atin. Bawal ho na hindi tayo mag-invest sa mental health on a daily basis. Okay? So nabanggit kanina ni Mayor, yung stress, yan ho ay isa sa mga bagay-bagay na nakakapagpalala ng ating mental health. Kaya kailangan ang stress buster, hindi lang sa bakasyon na lang, sa Christmas na lang. Hindi, kailangan bigyan mo ng oras yan on a daily basis. Kahit ano ba, 10 minutes lang, 30 minutes nap, a good chat with a friend. Pag nagla-lunch ka, pwede bang yung lunch na talagang masarap na lunch? Okay? Hindi yung pag-lunch, Diyos ko, complain pa rin ang laman ng ating isinasama natin sa binubudburan natin ng reklamo. Ang ating lunch, dapat to, binibigyan natin ng blessing ang ating lunch. Okay? So, self-care is very important. Okay, next slide please, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. Next slide please. You cannot pour from an empty cup, so we have to practice self-care. Wala po tayong maibibigay kung wala akong pagkukuhanan ng ibibigay. Okay? So make your mental health, next slide please, a priority. It has to be a priority for all of us. Okay, next slide po. So as mentioned, make your mental health a priority. Okay, and we have to rest and recover, reflect, rebuild a better you, and recognize the warning signs. Okay? Importante yung ma-recognize natin yung mga warning signs. Like, initial signs po yan ay loss of interest, no? Lagi ka na nagko-complain, may difficulty ka na mag-concentrate, no? Yung physical appearance mo, medyo naiiba na, yung hygiene mo, may mood swings ka na. May sinabi lang ng konti o hindi sinabi ng konti, nagagalit ka na agad, no? Very irritable, short-tempered, no? Hindi lang may abot ka agad yung baso, yung tubig ng asawa mo, ano ba, nagalit ka na kaagad? Yung estudyante mo, hindi lang naka-recite ka agad. No? So, yan ho ay mga early signs, no? Na tayo ay kailangang mag-break yung ating hashtag, PagHubay. Okay? So, kailangan to clear your mind, you have to have what they call psychological moratorium. Yan ho ay isang konsepto sa psychology. As in, may moratorium ka, no? Sa mga bagay-bagay na nagbibigay sa iyo ng stress. Okay? So I hope this is an opportunity for all of us, no? This dialogue is like a moratorium, okay? So on a regular basis. Okay? So next slide, as mentioned earlier, make your mental health a priority because next slide, every caring begins with caring one's self, okay? And it can actually, next slide, minimize the risk factors. Ang dami hong risk factors no? Yung ating pandemya ay isa hong risk factor yan, no? Trigger po yan ng mga mental health issues. Pero kung tayo ay may regular, no, self-care activities that can build our psychological muscles, it can minimize the risk factors, okay? Hindi ba selfish ang self-care? Next slide, please. No. Caring for ourselves is also caring for others in a more effective and healthier way. Okay? So, kailangan check your motives. Ba't ko ba inaalagaan ang sarili ko? Physically and mentally. For others. Diba? You have your children. You have your wife. You have your husband. You have your faculty members, your students. Ay, ang dami ho. So, need we say more? Kailangan mo talaga. Take care of yourselves. Okay? So, one of the best ways, and this is proven, no, in my practice as a psychologist, no, is mental health and psychological well-being. Next slide, please. Okay? So, tayo po ay may pag-uusapan, no, na sana take away para sa ating lahat. Yung iba ho, malamang alam na rin ho ito, pero ito po ay isang increased awareness and a form of review for all of us. You know, ang ano natin, alam natin ang gagawin minsan, pero minsan sa dami ng gawa, nakakalimutan natin. Kaya investment po ngayon ito, itong oras, no? So, indulge in this 1 hour. It's an investment for our mental health. Okay? So, ang ating pong next slide, please. Okay? Ang ating pong psychological well-being, no? Na pag-uusapan relative to mental health is acronym as PERMA. Nakikita niyo po yan, PERMA, P-E-R-M-A. No? This is coming from Seligman. He is the recognized, no, pioneer of positive psychology. Okay? So yung una pong letra sa PERMA ay letter P, which stands for positive emotions. And this would refer to feelings of happiness like being joyful, content, and cheerful. Okay? So, ang isang paraan ho para puspusin natin ang mga sarili natin sa positive emotion ay practice daw natin yung positivity ratio of 3:1. Okay? Ano po yung positivity ratio of 3:1? For every one bad thing that happens to you, palitan mo agad ng 3 good things. Okay? I'm sure kanina before the start, no, of the webinar, no, merong isa na nangyaring hindi maganda dyan. Okay? Medyo may delay, may konting glitch, may konting whatever discussions that are being done, no? Pero hindi ho kailangan dagdagan nyo ng isa pang problema at ang isang problema. Let's be mindful. Kailangan palitan mo yun ng 3 na positibo agad-agad. Okay? So ano yung 3 na yun? Ay, ang dami na nating attendees. Ay, hindi brown out. Ay, andyan na si Mayor, online na siya. Ay, andyan na si PSU President, ready na with his speech. Okay? Andyan na mga estudyante natin. Ay, naku, ang dami ho talagang 3 na pwedeng ipalit dun sa 1. Okay? So, applied in our daily lives, I think it will be, if we are mindful, no, Once na merong isang hindi maganda nangyari, mindful, conscious effort, intentional, #intentional. Kailangan conscious, hanapan mo ng tatlo na ipapalit. No? Hindi mo pwedeng 1:1 kasi kailangan maraming pondo. Okay? Kasi nga, dami nating stressors, di ba? Ang dami nating challenges, ang dami nating roles. So, kailangan marami kang ide-deposito para pag nangailangan, marami kang makukuhanan. Okay? So, puspusin ho natin yung ating mga sarili ng positibong emosyon. Okay? So, ang isa pong illustration pa nito, next slide please, no, is the art of being grateful. No? Gratitude is the language of the heart. Ang dami ho, no? Ang dami ho nating mga nararanasan, no? Mga negatibong nararanasan. Okay? Nitong huling bagyo, itong pandemya, ang dami po. But I'm sure, okay, next slide please. On one hand, okay, may nangyaring hindi maganda, but on the other hand, meron pa rin, umuulan on one hand. But on the other hand, nadidiligan ng halaman. On one hand, ang init-init, pinapawisan ako, wala kaming aircon. But on another hand, naku, mamumulaklak ang mga bulaklak. Kasi may araw. Imagine nyo kung wala akong araw, hindi ko yung bubulaklak. Okay? Meron ako ditong parang trellis. Hindi namumulaklak yun kasi yung puno, gumagano na siya, masyado na siyang shady. Nung kinat ko yon, ay, ang ganda ng bulaklak ng aking yellow bells. Okay? On one hand, ang tanda-tanda mo na, ay sorry po sa mga may edad na, pero konti lang yon. Ay hindi yata, 42%. Sorry. On one hand, may edad ka na. But on another hand, you're so full of wisdom. You're a consultant in life. Consultant sa business, consultant sa admin. Ang dami mo ng consultancy. Okay? Wala akong katapat yan. Okay? Yung mga bata naman, our students, our dear students, you know what's your greatest asset? You're being young. Naku, Diyos ko, yung may mga edad katulad ko. I'm sure gugustuhin pa natin sana 20 pa lang ako, 25 pa lang sana ako, 30 pa lang sana ako, no? So my dear students, remember that. Your greatest asset is you're being young. You're being young. Don't waste it. Invest it in things that will give you a return 100-fold. Okay? At anong isang magandang investment dyan? Ako, mag-aral na mabuti. Okay? Yan naman ang number one role ninyo eh. Okay? Nung isang araw ho, may nagbigay ho sa akin ng longganisang vegan. Eh, ang original po na longganisang vegan, maliliit. Okay? So, nung dinuluto ko na yon, sabi ko sa husband ko, ang cute ang cute ng longganisa. Pero ang bago-bago, diba? Tas ang sarap talaga. Okay? So, yan ho isang paraan para puspusin natin yung mga sarili natin ng letter P, positive emotion. On one hand, merong isang bagay na hindi maganda, but on another hand, meron kang makikitang blessing. Okay? As they say, hindi ho tayo pwede maging bitter. Next slide, please. Okay? Next slide po. Because we cannot win the world with anger and hatred. Okay? Hindi ho pwede yan. Okay? Wala pong panalo dyan. Talong-talo tayo dyan. Diyos ko. Okay? If you're going to win the world with anger and hatred, there's no such thing. You can never win the world with anger and hatred. Letter P po tayo, positive emotions. Okay? Kaya, okay, next slide please. Naalala nyo ba yan? Sino yan? Si Captain Ree, di ba? At saka si Seri, yung mga nanunod na, alam nyo, hindi ako nanunod talaga nito, pero dahil sa pandemya, ay syempre, we have to rest and recreate, no? So na-introduce po ako. Ang unang introduction ko ay ito. Ang ganda ng aking introduction sa kay novela. Okay. So, ano ang sabi ni Captain Ree? Next slide, please. Kay Seri. Ang ganda. I hope you won't miss the small happiness that you can and must find in your everyday life. Ang ganda, di ba? Okay? Sinabi niya yan, maghihiwalay na sila, babalik na siya ulit sa North Korea. Eh, ito kasing si Seri, mayaman ito, no, na parang laging out of touch. Pag naglalunch, mabilisan, di ba? Trabaho lang ng trabaho. So, binigyan siya ng reminder ni Captain Ree. I hope you won't miss the small happiness that you can and must find in your everyday life. So the same message goes to our investment for the day for letter P, positive emotions. Okay? So even if it's a mess, next slide please, it should be a happy mess. Okay? Let's be happy even in a mess. Okay? Hindi yung biro plano ng webinar katulad nito. Yung mga projects ni Mayor, no? I'm privileged to be part of a chat group because ito nga po, ako po ay nabigyan ng pagkakataong maging parte nito. So, nakikita ko po yung mga projects nila, no? Grabe, ang sisipag po talaga, no? I'm sure hindi yung madali yung mga ganyan, but they are happy, no? Even in situations like it looks like a mess. Okay? So we have to be, next slide please, very good inside and out. Okay? Kailangan pag tayo po ay push to the wall at nai-stress, kailangan ang mailalabas po natin ay pagtugon ng mahusay. Okay? Hindi po yung pagka meron pong problema ay problema din. Pag may galit, galit din. Okay? So, yung kaninang investment natin, 3:1. Okay? Kailangan puspusin para pagka tayo ay nabibigyan ng mga negatibong pagkakataon ay ang mailalabas po natin ay letter P, positive emotions. Because next slide please. We have to do it right inside and outside. Ang ganda mo nga sa labas. Paano ka naman sa loob? Okay? Kahit gaano kaganda po ang ipapakita mo sa labas, lalabas at lalabas din po yung nasa loob. Okay? So better, no, make sure that you do it right inside and outside. Okay? And next slide please. Nabanggit ko kanina ni Mayor na we have to take care of our thoughts because all things are created twice actually. No? You create them first in your thoughts create your intentions, and your intentions create your reality. So it starts with the mind. Okay? So meron po akong tanong. Next slide please. What do you want to grow in your life? Ano po yung gusto ninyong lumago sa buhay ninyo? I'm sure magaganda lang po ang gusto ninyong lumago sa buhay ninyo. Okay? So what's the point? In letter P. Nasa letter P po tayo. Positive emotions. At nasa making use of our mind very well. Okay? Next slide, please. What you focus on grows. So when you focus on problems, you'll have more problems. When you focus on possibilities, you'll have more opportunities. Easier said than done, I'm sure. Pero proven ho ito. Okay? In my psychotherapy sessions, for example, ang bilis ho ng improvement ng isang client. Itong technique na ito, what you focus on grows. Bibigyan mo lang ng assignment. Okay? Anong fino-focus mo ngayon? Did it grow? Okay? So, ang gagawin niya, ibahin niya po ang focus. Okay? So, when one begins to refocus, okay, things change. So, let's be conscious on what we focus on. Pag nag-focus po sa anger, naku, manganganak po yan. Sobra, lalala ho yan. Yan tampo mo, magiging galit. Yung galit, magiging ano ba? Ano bang mas malala pa sa galit? Hinanakit. Okay? Hanggang sa hindi na kayo nag-uusap. Ayan. Kasi yan lang ho ang focus natin. Okay? So, let's choose, no, what we focus on. Okay? Because, next slide please, our mind is supposed to serve us, not to torture us. Okay? Yan ang problema sa atin, tao lang ho tayo talaga, no? Ang gusto ho natin, pahirapan yung sarili natin. Dapat ho, ang ating mind is supposed to serve us. Mahirap ho yan na master. Pag yan po ay ginawa mong master, big sabihin siyang boss, hindi ikaw. Okay? Pag ginawa mong master yan, okay, mahirapan ho tayo. So let your mind serve you, not torture you. Okay? Because, next slide please, life is like a camera. You focus on what's important. You capture the good times. Develop from the negatives. If things don't work out, just take another shot. Okay? Kaya lahat po tayo biniyayaan ngayon ng isang araw. What a wonderful day. Di ba? Lahat po tayo ay nagising. Okay? Lahat po tayo binigyan ng pagkakataon ngayon na magtipon-tipon. So let's focus on that. Okay? Let's not focus on the things that we can not do something about today. Let's focus on the things that we can do something about. Okay? And one thing also that can help us, next slide please, in letter P or positive emotions is to have a mantra. Okay? again, no, in one of my clients, ang ganda ng mantra na na-identify niya. Ang ganda-ganda. And he applied it to himself and it's a guiding mantra already. Ano yung mantra niya? Don't say it's impossible until it is done. Sabi ko, wow, wonderful. Ako ang tinuruan mo, ako ang binigyan mo ng psychotherapy ngayon. Ang ganda nung kanyang, di ba, mantra. Kasi anong gusto niya? Maging nurse. Saan? Sa US Navy. Okay? So, hindi pwedeng sabihin na imposible hanggat hindi mo binibigyan ng pagkakataon yung sarili mo. It's a good mantra for positive emotions because you are inspired. There is hope in you. Okay? So, pagka may mga situations, just have in hand, no? A mantra. Okay? And therefore, my dear colleagues, okay? Let's summarize. Letter P, no? Nasa letter P pa lang ho tayo. Pero huwag kayong mag-alala, hindi ho ito buong araw. Mga kalahating araw lang. Okay. Let's try to summarize letter P or positive emotions by next slide, please. Okay. Another idol. No? Abagay, si Kobe pala napakita na natin kanina. Ano sabi ni Kobe? Ang ganda, oh. Have a good time. Life is too short to get bogged down and discouraged. You have to keep moving. You have to keep going. Put one foot in front of the other. Smile and just keep rolling. Okay? So ito po yung isa sa mga natutunan ko, no, sa aking training na nabanggit kanina, no. Yung kanina po nagfo-focus sa mind, cognitive, ito po ay behavioral. Cognitive behavioral approach. Just keep yourself going. Okay? Put one foot in front of the other. Ilakad mo yan. Okay? Ibangon po yan. Okay? So that we will have that letter P. We can invest on that. That's positive emotions. Okay? So next slide, please. So that's the first one, letter P, positive emotion. That is not to deny the negative po. We recognize the negative. We process and learn from the negative. Okay? Next one is letter E, no? Engagement. Next slide, please. So ano yung letter E sa PERMA? Engagement. Ito po ay a psychological connection to activities like being absorbed, interested, or engaged in life. This is being enthusiastic and in awe about life. It's like whatever life gives you at every moment, kailangan in awe and in wonder ka. Bakit? Baka bukas wala nang ibigay na ganun. Baka ito na lang, hindi natin masasabi. Di ba? So let's all be engaged and be enthusiastic. Because as they say, next slide please, life is an echo. Bless a thing and it will bless you. Curse a thing and it will curse you back. So ano lang, echo lang ho talaga yan. Okay? Kung ano hong investment, kung ano hong binigay, ano hong itinanim, yan din hulat ng talaga. No, it's law of nature. Okay? Proven yan. Alam ho natin yan. Okay? So, if you want to conquer fear, next slide please, don't sit home and think about it. Go out and get busy. Okay? Be busy, be energetic, be engaged. Okay? That's one way of investing in our mental health. So, hindi lang positive emotions, let's be engaged as well. So, ang dami pong mga opportunities for engagement in your school, in your organization, in your local community. Okay? A host of other things that you can be engaged with. And that's a very important investment for mental health. Okay, so we start to grow, next slide please, by lessening the no's. No to challenges that scare you, no to opportunities outside your comfort zone, because the more excuses, the less opportunities. Minsan mahilig tayo sa ganyan, wag na lang, baka mahirap yan. Wag na natin gawin yan, okay na to, simple na yan. Ako, yun ang problema minsan. Hindi ho magandang investment yan sa mental health. We have to get out from our comfort zone. So itong online class, hindi ho yan komportable. Okay? But that's where the growth is for now, no? And maybe later on, no? It will be blended, no? Later on, and therefore, you will be able to grow in a host of other things. Okay? So get out from your comfort zone. Doon tayo sa medyo mahirap ng konti because that's where growth is. Pag doon lang tayo sa komportable, pareho at pareho at pareho din ho, day in, day out, ang mangyayari sa atin. And that's not a good thing for mental health. Kailangan meron kang sense of growth as a person. Okay? So next slide, be engaged with life. Enjoy the moment because tama naman, no rewind. No reply. Okay, wala ko talaga. Pagkatapos nitong araw na ito, tapos na it's history, but we're making sure that we have a good history today, December 22, with Jed Madela later on. Ako, excited na ako doon. Okay, so let's be engaged. Okay, and your participation today is a form of engagement because, next slide please, how we greet, meet, and complete our day is our own doing. Okay, because as Kobler-Ross said, next slide please, it's only when we truly understand that we have a limited time on earth and that we have no way of knowing when our time is up that we will begin to live each day to the fullest as if it's the only one we had, no? Tamang-tama ho talaga ito sinasabi ni Elizabeth Tobleros. Hindi ho talaga natin alam kung kailan, no? I'm sure meron ho tayong mga nakikinig dito na nawalan ng mahal sa buhay. Kasama po ako doon. Yung Mayo, ang aking ina. Very sudden, no? Just one night in the emergency room and that's it. Ganun na lang yun. Okay? Pero sabi nga nila, the secret of living is to know the reality of death. Totoo yun. Walang exempted. Sino exempted dito sa atin? Ay, okay. May corruption ba sa langit? May exemption ka? Ma'am, sir, wala. Lahat po tayo mamamatay. Okay? So as they say, in order to die well, we have to live well. Okay? Pero to be engaged, nasa letter E po tayo. Okay? Next slide. Okay, sabi nga kanina ni Doc Raul, we have to take care of our physical bodies as well. So, kamusta naman? Ano ang kinakain ni physical body? Nakakatulog ba ng maayos si physical body? Okay? Kumusta ang nutrition ni physical body? May exercise ba yan si physical body? Make sure that the physical body is well taken care of because that's how you are going to do the things that you want to do. Yan ho ang medium, yan ho ang paraan, yan ho ang lalakad, yan ho ang mag-iisip, yan ho ang siya po ang kikilos para sa atin. Okay? So that's letter E. Next slide please. Engagement. So hindi lang ho positibong emosyon, kailangan meron tayong engagement. Let's be active, let's be enthusiastic. Okay? The next letter in PERMA is letter R. Next slide please. And that pertains to relationships. And these relationships are supposed to be positive. Okay? So how do we achieve positive relationships? Next slide please. We can achieve, no, by saying no to toxic relationships. Okay? Minsan mga relationship po natin nagiging toxic, no? We are not growing already as a person, no? Because of this toxic relationship. Okay? And we have to choose the ones that will hurt us. Naku, yan na nga yun. What you focus on grows. So even if the whole world is hurting you, only be hurt for those who are worth hurting over. Hindi po lahat pinapatulan natin, no? Usually our significant others, diyan ho tayo nasasaktan. Mas minamahal mo, mas nasasaktan ka daw. Okay? So kung hindi ka na po nasasaktan, baka hindi mo na humahal. Okay? So, build a positive relationship. Okay? Next slide, please. So, build a professional community of trusted colleagues and you look for allies to help in difficult situations. So, ito po, this is modeling, no? Perfect coordination and collaboration among the different entities of GOA, no? Radio stations, university, the local government unit, all of these different entities are working hard together for the success, no? For the goals of the community. Okay? So make connections, next slide please, make connections and expand your support system. Okay? Kailangan palawakin po natin ang ating mundo. Pag parent ka, collaborate with other parents. Okay? Pag student ka, join organizations, expand your world. Okay? Make connections. Expand your support system. Kasi ang dinedevelop ho, hindi lang ho IQ. Next slide please. Dinedevelop din ho natin ang sociability quotient. Next slide please. At saka likability quotient. Okay? So hindi lang IQ, SQ at saka LQ din ho. Okay? And of course, to nurture positive relationship, next slide please, alam na ho natin itong short course in human relations. Okay. Before that, okay, we have to practice the 30-second rule. Ano yung 30-second rule? Give the person the AAA treatment within the first 30 seconds daw. Ano yung AAA? Attention, affirmation, and appreciation. That's one way of investing in relationships. Okay? So if you have positive relationships, this is one way of investing in your mental health because we have allies, no? We have support system. So one way of doing that, give them the triple A treatment: attention, affirmation, and appreciation. Attention po sa tao, hindi sa attention sa sarili mo, okay? So affirmation dun sa tao and appreciation. And of course, next slide please. A short course in human relations. Alam na ho natin to. Kindergarten, tinuturo ho sa atin to. Pero napaka-importante nito. Minsan nakakalimutan natin, minsan, no? Katandaan natin. Di na natin sinasabi, you did a good job, no? Or minsan, too proud. We do not admit our mistake. Okay? Or we don't even say thank you. Okay? So this is very basic in letter R, positive relationships. Okay? Next slide, please. Yan. Ano nakikita nyo dyan? Sige nga. Let's choose, let's use the chat button. Ano nakikita nyo dyan? Okay? Pwede yung titigan nyo? Okay, ano nakikita nyo dyan? Po? Ano po nakikita? Faces. Anong mga muka? Anong muka nakikita? Matanda, bata? Young boy. My old lady. Okay, my old lady. Okay. May young boy. Okay? May old lady. Okay. So, yan ho talaga, dalawa ho ang nakikita dyan. Isang matanda at saka isang bata. Okay? Parehong naka-side view actually. Okay? Pwedeng mother and child. Okay? Pwede. So, in other words, next slide please. Okay? In other words, depende kung paano po tinitignan. Okay? Depends on how you see it. Okay? Kaya minsan kung tatanungin tayo, pwede pong yung tanong na yon, sagutin mo rin ho ng tanong. Sabihin ho natin, depends on how you see it. Okay? Kasi anong connection po sa letter R or positive relationship? We have to respect the perspective of the other. Kasi sa iba ho siya nagpo-focus. Sa iba ho yung tingin niya. Sa young boy po yung nakikita niya. Ikaw nakikita mo yung old lady. So let's respect the perspective of the other person. Kaya the next time, next slide please, when you look at a person, any person, remember that everyone has a story. And everyone has gone through something that has changed them. Marami ho tayo mga life-changing moments. Okay? Ang dami na, dala ng natural calamities, dala ng sakit, dala ng problema sa pamilya. Ang dami ho nating mga storya, sari-sariling storya. So tandaan ho natin, in letter R or positive relationships, we have to see it from the perspective of the person kasi meron ho siyang istorya na pinanggagalingan. So, ikaw din, meron ka ding istorya na pinanggagalingan. So, kung ikaw ay anak, tignan mo, ano kayang istorya ni nanay? Ano istorya ni tatay? Pag ikaw ay faculty, ano kayang istorya ng estudyanteng to? Pag ikaw naman ay estudyante, tignan mo din ang perspective ni ma'am. Ano kayang istorya ni ma'am? And therefore, letter R is nurtured. Good investment. We understand the other person. Pag naiintindihan mo natin ang isang tao kung saan siya nanggagaling o pwede may pinanggagalingan, mas mananurture po ang letter R, ang positive relationships. Okay? So next slide. So nakatatlo na po tayo. First, positive emotions. Okay? Puspusin ang ating sarili ng positibong emotion. Letter E, engagement. Let's be engaged. Let's be alive. Let's be energetic. Let's get involved. Okay? And of course, letter R, relationships. And these are positive relationships. Okay? Let's go to letter M in the PERMA. Malapit na. Okay? Letter M is meaning or purpose in life. Nakikita ho natin nakalagay, do something that your future self will be proud of. Okay? Meaning, medyo ano to, ito ay usapin tungkol sa existentialism. Ano ba talaga ang halaga ng buhay? Pagkatapos ng lahat ng ito, ano ba ang halaga? Ano ba ang meaning? Okay? At kanina may IQ, may SQ, may LQ, meron ng isang Q. Okay? Next slide please. Spirituality quotient po ang tawag. Okay? So there's a difference between being religious and being spiritual. Okay? Being religious are doing our norms, our traditions, our practices as Catholic or whatever is your religion. But being spiritual is a different thing. It's nice if you are both religious and spiritual. Medyo nakakahiya lang po pag religious ka lang pero hindi ka spiritual. Okay? Medyo yun ang mas nakakahiya na sitwasyon. No? Dasal ng dasal, rosaryo ng rosaryo, pero goodness gracious. Asan ang spirituality? Asa ng meaning sa araw-araw? Paglabas pa lang sa simbahan, nagmumura na. Paglabas lang sa simbahan, nagagalit na. Paglabas sa simbahan, nakasigaw na kaagad. So kailangan meron mo yung integration, no? The spiritual and the religiosity. Okay. So in all of this, okay, there is actually a very good illustration. Next slide please. I'm sure hindi niyo mo nababasa yan kasi napakaliit, no? Kinuha ko lang po to sa Facebook. Siya po ay isang apparently fashion blogger. Nung siya po ay nasa stage 4 na ng cancer, sinulat po niya ito. Sabi niya, ang ganda-ganda daw ng bahay niya, ang ganda-ganda daw ng suite niya sa hospital, ang mga bags niya puro designer clothes, ang dami niyang sasakyan. May eroplano pa nga na nag-aantay that can take her anywhere. But everything's meaningless. Kasi nga, wala na akong magagawa ng lahat ng iyon at the last moments of her life. Okay? Pero mabibigyan pa rin niya ng halaga yung buhay niya sa huling sandali by being kind, by being nice, and by loving others. Kaya ang message po niya sa atin talagang wala akong mas importante sa buhay kundi ang pagmamahal sa ating kapwa at maging mapagbigay sa ating kapwa. So, for letter M, to put meaning into our lives. Next slide, please. Be a giver. Ito yung movie, hindi ito Korean novela, pero ang ganda ng movie nito, Blind Side. Panoorin nyo ho ngayong Christmas. Ang ganda ng message ng movie na to. Okay? Ito yung isang mayaman na couple sa US na nag-adapt ng Black American, and that Black American talaga naging successful football player because he was nurtured and he was loved. Okay? So anong sabi ho nung nanay? Si Sandra Bullock yun yung nanay niya dun Sabi niya, be a giver cause. The reward is not always about what you get. It's what you become. Okay? Pag ikaw ay nagbigay sa kapwa, may transformation na nangyayari sa'yo. So pag i-analyze natin, sino ho ang nabigyan? Tayo. Nagbigay tayo pero para mas maraming bumalik sa atin. Kasi naka-achieve po tayo ng letter M. Naka-invest tayo sa ating mental health. We are able to put meaning in our day today. Okay? And therefore, next slide please. Okay? Yan ho, dalawa ho yung nakalagay dyan. No? Dito ho tayo sa kanan muna. Again, dun sa isang K-novela. Ang sabi niya, dialogue niya, you never thought of anyone else. You only thought of your pain. Yan ho ang ating human side. Kawawa ako, iniwan ako, kawawa ako, ganito lang ako. Yan, laging ako. Okay? Yun ho ay hindi nagbibigay ng letter M. Okay? Ang nagbibigay ng letter M ay yung pong nasa kaliwa. When we focus on others, our world expands. Okay? So I'm sure maraming opportunity sa LGU, sa community, sa campus, to help other people. Give yourself practicum, mag-invest sa letter M sa mental health. Join them. Okay? So focus on others, be active, engaged ka na rin yun, and you are surrounded with people who are full of positivity, pati letter P. Makaka-invest ka na rin. May positive emotions ka na doon, may engagement ka na doon, meron ka ng positive relationship, and you're able to put meaning into your life. Okay? So that's letter M. Okay? Next slide, please. So we have come to the last letter. Okay? Letter A. Okay? And letter A, next slide, please, is accomplishment. Okay? So this is about setting and making progress towards goals, having a sense of achievement. Okay? So marami ho tayong mga plano sa buhay, Pero sad to say, minsan hindi ho talaga yan na-achieve. But let's learn, from greatest failures. Let's watch this short clip first.
After being cut from his high school basketball team, he went home, locked himself in his room, and cried. He wasn't able to speak until he was almost 4 years old, and his teachers said he would never amount to much. was demoted from her job as a news anchor because she wasn't fit for television. Fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination and having no original ideas. At age 11, he was cut from his team after being diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency, which made him smaller in stature than most kids his age. At 30 years old, he was left devastated and depressed after being unceremoniously removed from the company he started. A high school dropout whose personal struggles with drugs and poverty culminated in an unsuccessful suicide attempt. A teacher told him he was too stupid to learn anything and that he should go into a field where he might succeed by virtue of his pleasant personality. Rejected by Decca Recording Studios, who said, "We don't like their sound. They have no future in show business." His first book was rejected by 27 publishers. His fiancée died, failed in business, had a nervous breakdown, and was defeated in 8 elections. If you've never failed, you've never tried anything new.
Okay, so if you've never failed, you've never tried anything new. So ito yung na-emphasize natin o kanina, let's get out from our comfort zone. No? What is important is not the speed, but the direction we are headed to. We can wait no matter how slow we go, as long as we are going in the right direction. In other words, sa letter A po, sa achievement, we set goals. Very important po. We have mini goals, long-term goals, no? Short-term goals. Very important po na investment yan. You should have something to hope for. Mini projects, okay? Kahit ano, maglinis lang ng clutter sa bahay, no? Maglagay ng isang corner for ano ba, na may mga halaman, whatever, no? Small projects, big projects, extension sa bahay, okay? A travel later on with the family, whatever it is po. Letter A is an important component of mental health. Let's invest in that, okay? And no matter how slow, kahit po usod pagong yan, no? Very, very important as long as it is moving, okay? So, sa mga estudyante, kahit na may isang failure, don't be defeated by the failure, okay? Isa pa lang naman yan eh. Unlimited chance po ito. Hindi naman ito unahan. Okay? Makakaabot pa rin ho tayo. Okay? What is important is that you do not stop and you get hold of yourself, you move on, you go on. Okay? Because, next slide please, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. So let's refuse to be defeated by pain kasi wala hong coincidences. Lahat po yan ay opportunities for learning. Okay? So parang yung mantra ng NASA, failure is never an option. Okay? Of course, we fail. Things do not plan. But don't see it as a failure. See it as a winning situation in terms of the learnings that will give you. Okay? And the next time that you are in a difficult situation, next slide, please. Take a look at the bigger picture. Okay? Again, this is very, very effective po in cognitive behavioral therapy that you can always adapt, no, in your self-care, in your caring for the family. Okay, look at the bigger picture. Itong problema na ito, ano ang idudulot nito para sa aking bigger picture? Ano yung aking bigger picture? Makagraduate ng senior high, makagraduate ng college, makapagtrabaho sa mga faculty members, maka-inspire ng mga estudyante, maka-inspire ng teachers to make Goa a better community. Yan ang ating mga bigger pictures. So we cannot afford to be bogged down by little failures or even big ones. Definitely. Let's always take a look at the bigger picture and focus on that so that we will have a very, very good investment in letter A or achievement. Okay? So, yan ho yung PERMA approach. I hope it's a good takeaway from you. Sige nga ho, reviewin nga natin. Ano yung letter P? We have about 91 participants in our Zoom room, and I hope there are participants also in our FB and YouTube, okay? Ano yung letter P? Naalala po ninyo? Ayan na. Positive emotions, okay? And of course, letter E is engagement, no? Let's be engaged, okay? And of course, we have to invest in positive relationships, di ba? And put meaning into our day-to-day. And of course, letter A is accomplishment or achievement. So my dear participants, next slide please. Let's reset, readjust, restart, refocus as many times as we need to. Wala ho dapat palyayan. Always reset, readjust, restart, refocus as many times as we can. And move on, next slide please, from whining, nguy-nguy, no? Iyak-iyak, no? Maganda ho yung umiyak, cathartic po yun, no? Makakalinis po ng ating mga sama ng loob. But after that, okay, let's move on to the winning mode. Tapos na tayo sa ating whining mode, okay? So it's just a matter of attitude, because, next slide, nothing is more beautiful than a real smile that has struggled through tears. Totoo ho yun. Mas masarap po tumawa pag alam mo ang pakiramdam ng malungkot. Mas masarap kumain pagka po gutom. Mas masarap matulog pag inaantok. So kailangan ho natin lahat yung mga negatibo na yan. So let's choose, no? Let's have the power of choice. Next slide please. Between a stimulus and a response, there is always that in between. Ano yung in between? The freedom to choose. So let's choose, let's be intentional, let's invest in our mental health, positive emotions, be engaged, form meaningful relationships. Let's affirm our spirituality, and of course, let's try to accomplish, no, for ourselves and our community. So today, next slide please. Make a choice. Take another look at your life, give thanks, accept your circumstances, and count your blessings. Mental health, next slide, is a basic necessity. Invest in it. Next slide, please. So invest in it, because mental health is a basic necessity, and a good guide of investment in our mental health, next slide, is of course our PERMA. Okay, so hashtag, last slide please, hashtag be intentional, hashtag PagHubay. I hope this period of relief, this mental dialogue, this short break that we have is a good opportunity for us to be reminded that mental health is a basic necessity, a good investment. I am sure that with this review, no, we will be able to implement and take action on it, because what good is it to know if we're not going to do it? So let's just do it. Okay? Salamat. Diyos mabalos. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Clarissa de la Llarte. That was a very informative and very inspiring mental health discussion po. Salamat po, Dr. Clarice. And before we proceed to the open forum, let me just share with you some of my main takeaways from Dr. Clarice's discussion. Dr. Clarice gave us the objectives of this webinar: to recognize the importance of mental health, to know the role of self-care in mental health, and to identify concrete steps in caring for oneself. Now, we have a lot of roles in our lives. Kung nagtatrabaho man tayo, hindi lang naman yon yung role natin, di ba? Pag uwi natin sa bahay, tayo ay anak, kapatid, ina, ama, isama na natin, tayo ay kapitbahay rin, and many more roles.
Right.
Both Dr. Bredesina and Dr. Clarice said that hindi lang dapat tayo physically tough. We should also be mentally tough. And our mental health is a basic necessity. Hindi natin dapat pabayaan. At sino ang dapat mag-alaga ng mental health natin? Walang iba kundi ikaw. We have to invest in our mental health on a daily basis, as emphasized by Dr. Clarice. Well, hopefully, in this webinar, ma-realize sana natin kung paano natin aalagaan ang ating sarili, especially our mental health. And now that we have learned about the concept of PERMA, i-recalling natin yung PERMA, positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment. All right? So thank you. So we'll now have the open forum. Well, we're in our new normal now. Hindi na yung normal na open forum na pupunta ka sa mic tapos magsasalita ka. The open forum will work like this. Well, earlier, I asked you to post questions in our Q&A section. And I also mentioned that the number of likes of the question posted in the Q&A will be one of our bases in deciding which questions to read. Sa Q&A right now, I think, tama ba ako? Wala pang nakapost na questions sa Q&A po ata. Wala pa. So maybe nagta-type pa sila, Dr. Clarice. Okay. Okay. I'm going to read the questions first kapag meron na dito sa Q&A, and then Dr. Clarice will answer them live. Well, we may not be able to answer all questions, pero I think kaya naman, mukhang wala pa nga eh. So I encourage our
Nag-iisip pa.
attendees, our participants, bilisan nyo na ang pagta-type at nang maitanong na natin yan kay Dr. Clarice.
Right. Oo.
So I am
makapakinig
now,
na tayo kay Sir Jed Madela.
yes. After ng open forum, performance na ni Mr. Jed Madela. So,
Right.
bilis-bilisan nyo na ang pagta-type nyo ng questions nyo. So,
Kahit
I'm now
hindi
opening the
question,
discussion for this
pwede ring
webinar.
comments. Can also be comments. Kung walang question, maybe you want to share kung paano kayo nagkakaroon ng positive emotions or paano kayo nag-engage. Pwede rin ho ganon para matuto tayo sa isa't isa.
Alright, so pwede namang hindi question, pwede daw comment. Ang dami kong
Comment,
nakikita sa
yeah.
screen na participants. Naka-ano sila, Doc Clarice, naka-group, parang sa
Naka-group.
isang, yes, naka-grupo. Like,
Right. Oo.
merong nasa gymnasium. Merong
nakikita
nasa,
ko.
sa Sangay Salugon. Hello there. Shout out sa mga taga Sangay Salugon. Baka may tanong po
Osas.
kayo.
Oo nga. Baka may tanong po kayo.
Andyan din ang Osas. Hi, Mami Jem. And then we also have the College of Arts and Sciences. Baka may tanong po kayo. The CET, College of Engineering and Technology. Para nakikita ko si Sir Josan ba ito? Para may tanong si Sir. Hi, Sir. Baka may tanong ka kay Dr. Clarice.
Okay.
From LGU Goa also. Meron na bang Wala pang nagpo-post
Ayan,
sa
may tanong na.
Meron na,
May tanong na sa chat box
Meron na.
natin. How would you handle?
Okay.
How would you handle difficult people in the workplace? Okay. Balik tayo dun sa ating stimulus and response. We have the power of choice in between. No? We have no control over the other person, but we have control over ourselves. Okay, definitely wala ho tayong control dun sa kabila. But the control, no? The main control is in the way we respond to the person, okay? So, just keep being professional and make sure na wala ho siyang makikitang something that is personal from your end, okay? Otherwise, pareho na lang ho kayong difficult. Both of you are difficult people, okay? So, my answer there is, it will always be coming from your end, no? The kind of attitude that you will exude, no, when it comes to difficult people. Where is the difficulty coming from? Tingnan natin kanina yung slides natin dun sa perception, no? This person must be undergoing something very tough currently, okay? Baka meron po siyang issue, may concern po siya. Usually people are like that, irritable, no? Easily irritated, short-tempered because they are undergoing some kind of inner issues, okay? So we have to understand it from their perspective. Okay? I think, meron tayong dito. I think ignoring them is the best way to deal with the difficult people. Ignoring their remarks that are not doing you any good, but not ignoring them in a sense that if they are part of a team, okay, they should be given also due respect and opportunity to perform in the team. Totoo po yun. Ignoring in psychology, ang principle po dyan is extinction. Habang hindi mo ho pinapansin ang isang bagay, eh unti-unti lang ho yan mawawala. Okay? Pag lalo mong pinapansin, parang bata lang po yan, no? Habang pinapansin mo, yung palang gusto, atensyon, no? Eh lalo kong gagawin. Okay? So maganda po yung ni Ma'am Alilano, no? Thank you so much, Ma'am. I agree with you.
Alright. Thank you so much, ma'am. I think meron pa pong isang question sa chat box natin as from Miss Rose Ann. How can
Yeah.
I help someone with a mental health problem like depression or anxiety?
Okay, before I answer that, very important, no? In every family, in every classroom, in every school, in every organization, na meron tayong mental health first aid. Okay? Very important ang mental health first aid. Bakit? Ang first aid po ay pwede pong ma-prevent ang emergency. Ang first aid po ay pwedeng ma-prevent ang depression. Clinical depression. Ibig sabihin ng clinical po yung hindi na siya functional, hindi na siya nakakapasok, hindi mo na siya makausap, okay? So ang mental health first aid is a very good preventive measure. So ang una ho sa mental health first aid ay you should know the signs, okay? So kung ikaw po ay significant other nitong tao na to, you should have noticed and observed the signs already. Yung mga early signs. Okay, ano yun? Lack of interest, lagi naka-complain, irritable, no? Mood swings, etc. Una, pangalawa, pangatlong araw na pansin mo yon, pwede ka nang pumunta sa second phase. Okay? If you're a mother, anak, anong merong nangyayari? Napansin ko nowadays, ganito ka. Okay? I'd like to talk to you, kunyari faculty, no? Can we have a dialogue? I understand that meron pong report, medyo tumataas daw po ang boses mo, ma'am, sa classroom po. Would you like to tell me what's happening? So yun ho ay mental health first aid. Very, very important na maramdaman ng tao na merong nakakapansin ng kanyang pinagdadaanan. Hindi yung ganun na nga, hindi mo pa kakausapin, di ba? Oh, ganyan lang yan, mawawala din yan. Ako, bawal ho yun. Invalidating po the feeling, ang tawag ho dyan. Pag may pinagdadaanan ho ang isang tao, kahit sabi mo pang, yun lang, nalungkot na siya. Naku, hindi ho yun. Hindi ho yun lang. Para ho sa taong yon ay isang malaking bagay. No? Meron siyang naramdaman doon na hindi mo ho pwedeng i-invalidate o i-deny. Okay? So, mental health first aid is very important. Ngayon, kung hindi ho tayo nagkaroon na ng ganon at napunta na ho siya, no, sa clinical depression, kailangan ho muna ng proper diagnosis. Okay? So, titignan ho natin yan kung gaano kadalas siya. Frequency, intensity, at saka duration. Matagal na ho ba siyang ganyan? Okay? Masyado ho ba siyang intense kapag ka nagagalit? Kapag ka, yung kanyang pagkalungkot, sobrang lungkot, di na siya kumakain, hindi, o kaya sobrang kain, hindi siya natutulog, o kaya sobra naman ng tulog. Okay? Matagal na ho, intense po ba yon? Madalas po ba yon? So, yun po yung mga signs. Okay? Pagka ho ganon, we can ask the person, encourage the person to already see a professional. The sooner, the better. Okay, I tell you, mga 2-3 sessions lang ho yan, no? Up and okay na po siya. Kailangan lang ho niya talaga na magbibigay ng direksyon at mag-expand ng pananaw ng nangyayari sa kanya. Okay? Of course, meron din ibang kadahilanan, physiological and biological. Pag meron ho mga ganon, kailangan natin ho ng psychiatrist kasi kailangan po ng gamot kapag ganon. Okay, so I hope we were able to answer the question. Pero ang pinakapunto ko po doon is mental health first aid. No? You can institute that in your institutions, sa school. I'm sure you have your guidance and counseling services. Sa bahay, mommy, daddy, okay? Wag ho nating baliwalain ang mga napapansin natin ng mga senyales. Okay, kausapin natin, magluto ka ng masarap, yung paborito niya. So habang kinakain niya, 'di ba? Konting kwentuhan, no? Establish rapport. Kung sa kaopisina mo, mga community members mo, kung makapag-establish ka ng rapport, kagandahan. Bakit sa sarili mong anak, sarili mong asawa, parang wala ka na yatang rapport. Okay. So, kailangan ho yun on a daily basis. Okay? So, ngayon hindi tayo masyadong makalabas. Ano ba yung mag-organize ka ng konting picnic dyan sa labas ng bahay? I'm sure, Diyos ko, mga puno sa Bicol, etc. No? Ang sarap mag-picnic, mag-barbecue, no? Mag-organize ka ng game. Mami, sorry, pero ikaw ang, ikaw ang prime mover. Okay? Kaya dito sinasabi ko sa mga estudyante ko choose not only a pretty and sexy wife. Okay? Choose also a good mother for your children. Kasi magkaiba yun. Okay? So, swerte mo na lang kung maganda na siya, tapos magaling pa siyang nanay. Okay? So, tandaan niyo yan, mga students, okay? You are at the prime of your life. You choose well. Okay? Yun po ang aking kasagutan. What is your...
Okay.
Parang may question ulit. Sabi sa'yo, nagta-type lang sila, ma'am eh. Okay,
Ma'am,
go.
meron po sa Q&A. May nag-type sa Q&A. Yung ano po, physical indicators of stress.
Physically, fatigued. Easily fatigued. No? Yung madali ka mapagod. Wala ka pa masyadong ginagawa, pero parang pagod ka na. No? That's one sign. Marami din mga psychosomatic symptoms like asthma, allergies, di ba? Mga externalization ang tinatawag natin dyan. Nakikita mo sa katawan, falling hair. Physical po yan, di ba? Okay, pag hindi ka kumakain, edi syempre maglulose ng weight. Pagka naman kain ng kain, okay, iba naman din ang effect sa katawan mo. Okay? Hypersomnia o kaya hyposomnia, no? Yung insomnia na tinatawag, parehong may effect yan sa ating physicality. Okay? O sa ating katawan. Okay? So, take hold of your mind. Diba sabi natin kanina, the mind is supposed to be your servant, not your master. Ibalik po sa iyo yung yung pagiging master. Nagiging master si mind. Dapat ikaw. You control your mind. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Okay po. Thank you, Dr. Reese. Meron pa pong question dito, ma'am, sa chat box natin. What is your insight po about the viral shooting, including policemen? Some who watch the video are already stressed out.
Correct. Oo, yan yung tinatawag ho natin na secondary stress disorder. Kahit nanood lang ho tayo, talagang nakaka-stress yun. Imagine, we know what happened, di ba? Okay, so we can do the briefing, no? Kung pag-usapan, no? Kung ano ang nararamdaman, no? Doon sa nangyari na insidente at kuwanan ng aral para hindi pinoproseso niya mag-isa. Kasi baka mamaya kung anong klaseng pagproseso ang nangyayari, no? At i-internalize niya yon, okay? Magkaroon siya ng, instead na learning a lesson from it, magkaroon siya ng post-secondary stress disorder kasi wala naman siya sa scene. Okay? So very important, you can talk about it as a family, as a faculty, as a group, okay? Na kaya importante ang mental health, okay? Kaya yung nakaka-troublesome ho talaga yun, no? Last night po yun yung ating news na yun. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Doc Clarice. Meron, that question pala came from the guidance office po namin. And then there's another question sa Q&A po natin coming from PSU Tinambak. Hello po sa mga taga Tinambak. Ang tanong niya, Doc Clarice, is it healthy to always try to be out of your comfort zone even at most times you always fail?
Is it healthy to be always out from your comfort zone, even at most times you always fail? Okay? Okay, the answer there is, of course, anything in excess is not good. Okay? You have to also evaluate your capacity, your self-efficacy, yung kakayanan mo. Okay? Kasi baka mamaya, you take on a lot of load to yourself, okay, one after the other, pero hindi naman nakakayanan. So, importante po is, you never stop trying. Okay? I'm sure hindi talaga failure yon as in failure because wala ho talaga, to me wala ho talagang failure na as in failure 100%. No? It's always a learning experience and therefore later on pag na-process natin, it's not really a failure, it's just a stepping stone for you to be a better faculty, a better student, a better wife, a better mother. Why are you better now? Kasi alam mo na yung mali. Ang problema ho dyan, no, you are stumbling on the same stone. Alam mo nang may bato doon. Lagi ka pa rin doon lumalakad. Diba? Kaya lagi ka pa rin nadadapa. Okay? You know, ang talagang failure as in, twice, thrice na, always stumbling on the same stone. Lagi ka nadadapa sa parehong bato. Alam mo nang andun yung bato eh. No? Ba't hindi mo ano bang pwedeng gawin sa bato na yon? Meron bang ibang daan para hindi ka dumaan sa bato na yon? Para the next time that you try, no, merong success. Okay? And success is very relative. Sabi nga nila, no, profit is not always in the pockets. Hindi ho pera-pera lahat ng bagay. No? Ang profit ho pwedeng confidence, ang profit ho is better relationships, pwedeng being able, mental health is a profit. Di ba? Peace of mind is a profit. Okay? Ano mas gugustuhin mo? Yung 1 million? O yung meron kang peace of mind? Mas masarap po yung peace of mind. Mas masarap kumain, mas masarap matulog. Yun pong 1 million, walang magagawa yun. Okay? So make good choices. Make good choices. For yourself. Invest, no? Maganda hong guide, no? Yung PERMA talaga, no? Ano bang, saan ba ako nagkukulang na investment? Baka puro ako achievement. Baka wala akong letter R or positive relationships. Baka kulang ako sa letter M o meaning, no? Puro lang ako personal achievements, no? It's time to invest on meaning. Okay? Isa ho sa mga very, very good strategy in psychotherapy is yung letter M, yung meaning. Okay? Maghanap ng gawain na ang focus po ay yung ibang tao, hindi ho ikaw. Okay? So ano yung ibang tao? Pagtulong sa ibang tao, pakinig sa ibang tao, paggawa ng mabuti sa ibang tao. Hindi yung puro ako, kawawa ako, walang nagmamahal sa akin, failure ako, puro ako yun. Okay? Punta ka doon sa kabilang ibayo, yung iba. And then you're going to invest a lot in letter M. Okay? Meaning at the same time, in your mental health.
All right. Thank you po, Doc Clarice. Now we have another question from Mr. Alfredo Reliora. How can we help students overcome addiction in mobile and computer games?
Oh my goodness, this is really an issue. Online gaming, no? Addiction, internet addiction, problematic internet use, no? Ang dami na hong mga issues dyan, okay? It all boils down to self-regulation. Okay? Being able to regulate yourselves and being able to be mindful of all the other very important aspects of your life. Ang gaming ho, ang online gaming, ay hindi naman ho masama yan. Pang-recreate yan, pang ano ba? Pang-relax, di ba? Sabi nga nila, pang ano pa ng logical thinking. Okay? But we have a lot to contribute, no? So that the young ones, no, the students are not addicted into it. So kailangan marami ho tayong ibang mga diversified activities that we can engage our students, our children into na hindi lang talagang online gaming, no? Give them responsibilities at home, regulate the use of the internet, lagyan ng house rules. Kailan ba i-on, i-off ang ano, ang wifi. Eh kasi 24/7 ang wifi, no? So minsan kasalanan din natin 'yun. Okay? O kaya ginawa nating yaya. Ginawa nating yaya ang ating ano, ang ating mobile phone para tumahimik na lang yung bata. Okay? So we have a lot to do as adults in regulating the use of their devices, especially in online gaming. Medyo ano ho ito, serious issue ho talaga ito, no? So kailangan preventive measure po tayo. Put house rules sa paggamit po ng wifi. Kasi yung mga online gaming na yan, okay, pag yung talagang mga ano, kailangan ng malalakas na wifi. Pagka mobile, naka-data lang, parang hindi nila masyadong ma-access yun. Pero meron pa rin. Okay? So, very important that you're able to establish a good relationship with your children. Okay? Kasi sa bahay ito nangyayari, no? So that you can influence them to take and partake other activities apart from online gaming.
Okay. Thank you, Doc. Next question here coming from Dr. Seth Cledera. What activities would you like to recommend to our employees or administration to lessen the stresses in the workplace?
Yan. Okay. Okay, Doc Seth, thank you very much for the question. Okay, so stress is inevitable, no? Especially in the workplace, especially in the academe. Okay, ang dami hong demands ngayon given the new normal. Okay, so in other words, we have to manage the stress kasi hindi ho siya mawawala. Okay, so you can review the workload, you can put the structures and the policies that will share the load, the workload to everyone, okay? Kasi baka mamaya yung iba na overwhelmed sa workload, but actually you can have a fair distribution of this workload. Of course, capacitate, no? Capacitate the faculty, capacitate the parents, capacitate the students so that they will be able to know the technical aspects of online learning, the technical aspects of their job, okay? And therefore, pag maalam po sila sa dapat nilang gawin, mas madali hong mami-minimize po ang stress dulot ng hindi pagkaalam ng gagawin. Kaya kailangan po holistic ang approach natin, no? Sa pag-handle ng stress. Hindi lang si faculty ang ating ika-capacitate, si estudyante din, at ang family, ang parents. Kasi sila ngayon ang matinding support system ho natin, kaagapay, kasi nasa bahay ho sila ngayon, no? Kaya ang dami nating mga parenting seminars binibigay, no, so to capacitate the parents so that they will be able to deal with this new normal. Okay? And of course, the community has a lot to do with it. So it's a concerted effort of all the systems in a school, faculty, instruction, even research, no? Yung research, kahit research is a very good way by which you can establish programs kasi yung gagawin mong program is data-based. Okay, hindi lang suntok sa buwan. Kinuha mo 'yon sa unique characteristics ng mga estudyante, ng mga faculty. Okay? So, we may lessen but definitely we will not be able to totally eliminate stressors. They are there. So, they have to be managed lang po. We have to manage them.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Reese. Meron pa pong question dito from Mr. Joseph Valencia, CBM faculty via Isarog Radio Broadcasting. Maraming aga po sa mga naghihinanyog sa Isarog Radio Broadcasting. Sabi dito, ma'am, hello ma'am. If we will conduct telecounseling for our students to help them cope with their personal concerns, what are the things to consider?
Okay, so telecounseling, this is supposed to be still, no, we do not compromise the standards. The one who's supposed to do telecounseling are still the licensed, no, guidance counselor and the licensed psychologist, okay? So we do not compromise that kind of standard, especially that it's online, okay? And you know, there can be a lot of things that can happen online and you are not there personally to be able to attend to the person, okay? Yung ating mga protocols, like there has to be an informed consent, kailangan po may consent, no? May consent pa rin ho na siya ay pumapayag na mag-counseling, no? Because counseling is a voluntary, okay, voluntary measure from the end of the counseling. Pag siya po ay bata, okay, below 18 years old, kailangan po ng consent ng magulang that you are doing a counseling. That is for your own protection, okay, as a professional, okay? We cannot force people to go through counseling without their consent, okay? So, yun po, kailangan licensed pa rin, okay? And we follow the protocols of informed consent, okay? We still do proper assessment, yung assessment that we can do given the limitations of time. And if the assessment cannot be done online, okay, there's no choice, but you have to do the assessment face-to-face, following the health protocols, of course, okay? And then still you have to do a very good therapeutic intervention to be discussed with the counseling, with the student. These are the plans, these are your concerns. Which ones do you think are we going to target first, and then i-discuss nyo ang plans, no? That's very, very important, at magsasign pa rin ho sila dun sa plinano nyo na therapeutic intervention, okay? We follow still the professional protocol kahit po online. Lalo na pag online kasi mas delikado po, wala ka po doon sa tabi niya pagka umiyak na po yan at saka nag-breakdown. Kaya yung consent po importante. Okay? Very important po yun for your protection as a professional po.
Okay
So
po.
ako po, lahat po yan, yung mga ginagawa ko na online ay mayroon po yung informed consent. Okay.
Okay po, Dr. Reese. Next question from DepEd Goa. Hello po sa mga taga DepEd Goa.
Hello
Sabi
po.
sabi po ni Miss Minnie Talagit, What particular program could you recommend to the learners before the conduct of face-to-face classes, if allowed?
Oh, okay. Before the conduct of face-to-face classes, okay? So, kailangan po hindi ka agad-agad mag-immerse sa face-to-face classes. So, parang ano po yan, no? Parang first day of, parang may orientation muna yan, of course, di ba? And then there is mga light activities lang. Wag muna cognitive agad ang mga activities, okay? Maybe a program on sharing some of their the best things that they were able to do during the pandemic, okay? So parang sports fest ba ang dating, no? Let's target first the hormones and the neurons of our students so that their body, no, is ready for the cognitive abilities. Okay? So we can map out a very good, no, transition program from online to face, no? I don't know if it's gonna be full face to face or it's gonna be blended. Now that we have tried blended, no? I'm sure schools are considering the blended, no? Some face to face and some online. Okay? So we have to consider all of these things. Yung transition program is very, very important po.
Okay po, Dr. Reese. I think last question posted na to sa chat box po. Medyo mahaba. Galing ata ito kay Dr. Atole. Okay.
Okay.
One observation I have as effect of this pandemic is that in the ICT field, parang naging thinner ang boundary between rest and work. Nag-spike ang demand along ICT services because almost all processes were migrated online. Because of the
Correct.
prevalence of communication platforms, requests appear anytime and anywhere. Any advice on how we can help our ICT personnel in balancing their lives?
Right, right. I would agree to that, no? Because I teach in quite a number of schools and they have different platforms in their online classes. Okay, so minsan may mga issues, may mga concern, but there is a very good structure in place, no? Merong you just go online and give your concern. You can give a ano nga ba, screenshot of your concern and then may automatic reply sila that they will get into you after some time and they do, no, they do really get in touch with you, pero meron pong ano yon, meron pong meron siyang, what do you call that? May time frame po siya. You can only do so between 8 to 5. And then may nakalagay po na we will respond to you, no, within office hours. Office hours pa rin, ho, hindi ho on demand. Okay? Hindi po on demand. Okay? Except, of course, no, for other services in on campus, no, that you may be needed. Okay? So ito po ang challenge sa ating mga ICT personnel. Buti na lang nandiyan ho kayo, no? Andiyan na ho kayo, pero maganda ho yung observation na talagang lumabo po yung yung boundaries, no? Kailan ba talaga magpapahinga, no? Kasi eto na naman, meron na namang text, no, na problema sa ganito. Okay? So you can just put limitation, no, when can you get when can you be contacted at what time, okay? And then meron kayong skeletal force, okay? And then you can also categorize the concerns para yung email addresses, pwedeng doon lang sa concern na yon para hindi yung pasahan ng trabaho kasi hindi naman akin to, so ipapasa ko sa kabila, okay? So you can streamline the different communication platforms so that very clear ang delineation ng job description. Okay? But thank you to the ICT people, no, for all the services. You are in the limelight now. Okay? Sige po.
Thank you so much, Dr. Reese. Sana po sa sagot ni Dr. Reese ay medyo mabawasan ng kahit konti ang stress ng mga taga-ICT namin.
Oo. Apply niyo po yung PERMA. Apply niyo po yung PERMA. Wag puro trabaho, no? Kasi mabu-burnout ka talaga pag isa lang ang kinofocus natin. So remember, you're not only an employee, ikaw din po ay may ibang role. Okay? So kailangan po talaga conscious tayo, di ba? Positive emotions. Ako ay isang ICT expert. My goodness gracious. Ang galing nitong opportunity na to hone my skills, no? I have to be engaged, no? so that I can help people more, okay? But at the same time, I have to nurture my relationships, no, with myself, with my family, with my coworkers, okay? So how can I put meaning into my being an ICT personnel? Nako, sobrang serbisyo na ang binibigay ninyo, no? And of course, in all of this, you have a sense of achievement. So I hope on one hand, okay, on call kayo 24/7, lumalabo ang job description, okay? Nagkakaroon na ng konti na lang ang pahinga, but on another hand, I hope you see the merits and the meaning behind your services at this point in our pandemic life. Okay? So you are welcome, Ma'am Mimi. Thank you so much.
Okay po. Meron pa po ba tayong tanong? Doc, I just don't know kung paano natin maka-capture. Baka may tanong sa Facebook Live or YouTube Live.
Oo,
Wala kasi
sige.
akong ano ngayon sa sa
Right,
live po
oo.
natin. Baka may
Baka
tanong po
meron
doon.
pong, meron ba nagmo-monitor sa ating Facebook Live or YouTube?
Opo, Doc Renel.
Oo. Doc Ronel, our abalang, punong abala.
Abala talaga siya, ma'am.
Abalang-abala, pero nakangiti pa rin yan. Oo,
Yes
di
po.
ba? Magda-dry run yan Sunday.
Oo nga po, ma'am.
Binuking. That's how hardworking, no?
Ma'am,
Our
meron ng
PSU.
question.
Okay, go.
Sabi ni, this
Can
is from
anger-
Mr. Jeff Coruno. Hi, Sir Jeff. Ang sabi ni Sir Jeff, can anger be righteous?
Oh, yes. Okay, wait lang. Is that my answer? The yes? Okay. Can anger be righteous? The answer there is feelings in itself, okay, like anger, okay, is not bad. You just feel angry, diba? You just feel frustrated, okay? But what you will do with your anger and with your frustration, that's the one that will make it bad. So like the policeman, okay, that got angry. Hindi ho natin alam ba't ho siya nagagalit. Pero yung anger na mararamdaman mo, di ba sabi natin hindi natin i-invalidate? Kasi naramdaman mo na nagalit ka na, nainis ka na. Pero kailangan, ako talaga very quick ka dyan, very mindful. Ano ang gagawin mo dun sa naramdaman mong galit? Papatay ka ng tao? Magchichismis ka ng kapitbahay mo? Sisiraan mo yung kapwa mo? That's the one that will make it very bad. Okay? So it can be righteous if you turn your anger into something that is fruitful to you, no, makes you a better person and makes you being able to relate well with the other, no? Pag tinignan mo yung perspective niya. Okay? Kasi minsan nagagalit tayo kasi ang pumasok sa isip natin, perspective natin. Okay? So, yun po ang masasabi ko tungkol sa mga pakiramdam katulad ng galit, selos, okay? Naramdaman mo na yun, hindi mo naman tinuturuan yung sarili mo na kunyari ay may isang sitwasyon. O sige na, magalit ka na ngayon na. Hindi, you just felt it, di ba? Nararamdaman mo na lang na nagalit ka na, nagselos ka na. Pero, what you focus on grows. Tandaan mo natin yung slide na yon, nasa letter P po yun. So, are you going to focus on that anger? On that jealousy? What will you do with that anger? Iproseso natin. Ba't ka nagalit? Saan nanggagaling yung galit mo? Ano na ngayon ang gagawin mo sa galit mo? So you have a choice. So babalik tayo dun sa stimulus and response. In between is the freedom to choose. So choose. What are you going to do with your anger? Okay? That's the choice is the one that will make it bad. Yun po ang sagot ko.
Okay po. Thank you so much, Doc Clarice. I think, sabi ni Doc, wala naman daw pong questions sa live stream. So, if wala naman na po tayong question, I think we'll now have the awarding of the Certificate of Appreciation to our resource speaker. I will be needing again your virtual applause. May I now request the certificate to be flashed on screen? Okay, as I read the citation. Republic of the Philippines, Partido State University, Extension and Community Services, in partnership with the local government unit of GOA Camarines Sur, awards this Certificate of Appreciation to Dr. Clarissa F. De la Yarte for her valuable and exemplary service rendered as resource speaker during the conduct of the webinar entitled PagHubay, Understanding Mental Health During the Time of Pandemic, held at Partido State University, Goa campus on December 22, 2020. Given this 22nd day of December 2020 at Partido State University, Goa, Camarines Sur. Signed, Raul G. Bredesina, SUC President 3, and Honorable Mayor Marcel S. Pan. Doc Clarice, I think isisend ata namin sa'yo yung
Yes,
certificate, yung
okay.
hard copy. Yes po. So,
Okay, thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you
very
po.
much. Thank you very much to PSU, Extension and Community Services, of course, in partnership with the local government unit of Goa and DepEd, and to all members of the Goa community and our Bicol uh, folks. Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity to be able to share my thoughts on mental health. So hashtag be intentional and hashtag paghubay. Maraming salamat po.
salamat Doc Clarice. Pero hindi pa po tayo tapos ng ating program dahil meron pa pong special performance si Mr. Jed Madela.
Yes.
Yeah, this is one of the most awaited parts, syempre.
Yes.
Yeah, this special performance by our very own Mr. Jed Madela. Kilala naman natin si Mr. Jed Madela. This year is very challenging, and maybe with Mr. Jed Madela's performance, we'll have some sort of relief. We'll have some sort
Correct.
of paghubay. So before Mr. Jed Madela finally give us his special performance, may I just read some information about him? This is just very short. Mr. Jed Madela came from family of nurses. His mother, sister, sister-in-law, and aunt, Ma'am Annie Talanhangit. And that's why he'll be giving a very special performance. This is especially for our frontliners because he knows the sacrifices they've gone through, especially this time of pandemic. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome Mr. Jed Madela.
Couldn't really ask for more, so much to be thankful for. I'm as happy as can be. I am blessed beyond my needs. The season always makes me smile. I wish it lasts a longer while. I'm glad it's here. I can hear the children sing as their eyes light up with joy. The air is filled with love and all that it brings. Santa has a gift for every girl and boy. All our friends and family gather round the Christmas tree. It is that special day we've waited for. A very Merry Christmas to you and yours. Pretty ornaments abound, Yuletide spirit all around. The celebrations lift my heart. They bring in a brand new start. The season always makes me smile. I wish it lasts a longer while. I'm glad it's here. I can hear the children sing as their eyes light up with joy. The air is filled with love and all that it brings. Santa has a gift for every girl and boy. All our friends and family gather round the Christmas tree. It is that special day we've waited for. A very Merry Christmas to you and yours. It's just around the bend. May goodwill to man. I can hear the children sing as their eyes light up with joy. The air is filled with love and all that it brings. Santa has a gift for every girl and boy. All our friends and family gather round the Christmas tree. It is that special day we've waited for. A very Merry Christmas to you and yours. A very Merry Christmas to you and yours. A very Merry Christmas to you and yours. Merry Christmas, everyone.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Jed Madela, and Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you to Dr. Clarissa de la Yarte. Of course, we look forward to having you again, po, ma'am, in our webinars and engagements in the future. In this challenging
Anytime.
time,
Thank you.
in this challenging time, we really need to understand our mental health, and this webinar and your discussion po are very timely and relevant. Me personally, I learned a lot from your discussion, and I hope our viewers and listeners too. If you're going through something, it's okay that we talk about it. Know that there are people in our lives who would listen to us. Please take care of your mental health. Now, before we formally conclude this webinar, please allow me again to greet our viewers via Facebook and YouTube Live and our listeners via Radyo Partido and Isarog Broadcasting. Sana po na matikta ang paghubay na hatod sa kansatuyang programa mo niyan. Paghubay, understanding mental health during the time of pandemic. Dakulang pasalamat mi din po sa samuyang partner, the local government unit of Goa, headed of course by our Honorable Mayor, Mayor Marcel Pan, and his wife, Dr. Ruby Pan. And salamat din po, DepEd Goa. Salamat sa pagdalan, salamat sa pagdangog, hali sa Partido State University, lokal na gobyerno kan Goa Camarines Sur, as in Department of Education Goa. Merry Christmas po and Diyos mabalos. Before I forget, please don't forget to accomplish the evaluation form. Meron pong naka-flash na what do you call that? QR code. And then I think yung link po ata is ipo-post naman sa aming official Facebook and YouTube page. So again, thank you so much po and enjoy the rest of the day.
Yaon kita, nakikipaglaban para dagos ng mawara ang COVID-19 sa kinaban. Kadakol na ang nasakripisyo. Nawaranin mga mahal sa buhay, maging ang hanap buhay, alagad uya kita. Dagos ang paglaom na igwapaning liwanag sa maabot na aldaw. Mati niya mo nalangkag ka na. Dakol ng panahon asin oportunidad ang luminihi sa imo. Pero yaon kamo pig-aatubang ang inababarang nakalaban. Pigtataya ang buhay sa katibaaran para sa na kami maproteheran. Sa indong mga frontliners, ang samong halangkaw na pagsalulo. Aram niya mo na daing masasayang sa kapagalan nindo. Nahihiling kan mahal na Diyos ang lambang sakit asin paghingawa mo para sa gabos. Mati niya ang pagtios sa pagsiserbe, maging ang mga pagtangis mo, na ikanya pigpapabayaan. Sa maabot na pet sa 22 ngunya na Disyembre, dalanon asin hinanyo ang programang pigdadara sa to kan Partido State University sa pakikipagtabangan kan Department of Education